Today, the Pitt Panthers, led by quarterback Tino Sunseri, who's evolving into a sophomore sensation, look for their third straight win as they host the Louisville Cardinals and Bilal Powell, the nation's fourth leading rusher and number 1 in the Big East. It's Pitt and Louisville coming up right now. Welcome to the Big East Network Game of the Week, presented by PNC. For the second straight Saturday afternoon, we're in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, inside Heinz Field. Pitt Panthers hoping to push their Big East record to 3-0, taking on the upstart Louisville Cardinals, one of the surprise teams in the league. Louisville has the number 1 rusher, but keep in mind, Adam Froman, the senior quarterback, number 2 in the Big East, passing for 222 yards a game. And for Pittsburgh, Nate Byam and Doran Dickerson may have moved on to the NFL, but other guys are stepping up now. Mike Cruz, 2 touchdown receptions last week. He was named the John Mackey National Tight End of the Week. Hi, everybody. Along with John Congemi, the former Pitt quarterback, I'm Mike Gleason. Great to have you with us. Well, quarterback, we have 2 quarterbacks who are red hot here today in Froman and Sunseri. You got 2 teams averaging 30 points a game. What's the key?
Should be a good story with the quarterbacks, but I think the story will be running the football for Louisville. They come in with the number 1 rusher in the Big East and Bilal Powell, but Pitt, the number 1 defense in stopping the run. Whoever wins that battle will probably win this football game.
More on the Cardinals and the Pitt Panthers in a couple of minutes, but right now let's get you up to speed with the rest of the Big East Conference. Big game last night in East Hartford, and not a good day for West Virginia fans, but you really have to take your hat off to Randy Edsall and the Huskies. It seems like whenever they face adversity, they circle the wagons. Syracuse, they can go to 6-2 with a victory over Cincinnati today. And we mentioned Mike Cruz, the National Tight End of the Week. Doug Hogue, the Walter Camp National Defensive Player of the Week after his 10-tackle, 2-INT performance last week. How about the game last night? A huge, huge win for the Huskies.
It was enormous for the Huskies. The first time they've defeated West Virginia in school history, but the turnovers were the key. 1 in overtime, 7 fumbles by the Mountaineers, losing 4 of them, but Ryan Clark fumbles inside the 5, and Connecticut comes out, kicks that field goal in overtime. A huge victory for the Huskies.
And coming up at noon, Syracuse, they could go to 6-2.
Syracuse is a team, you don't know what you're going to get, but you're going to get tough play out of them, whether they're on the road or inside the dome. They've been able to make big plays on offense and huge plays on defense, and Doug Hogue spent most of those plays last week against West Virginia. But Cincinnati, Zach Collaros will not be in the starting lineup. Chaz Anderson will get the start at quarterback. They'll have to have some running game to help the young quarterback, and then Armand Binns on the outside. He's been a huge target for them, as well as DJ Woods. They're going to have to come up big at home. Syracuse, it's been the story of defense, and Doug Hogue last week was sensational against the Mountaineers. 10 total tackles, 2 interceptions, 1.5 tackles for loss. He was all over the field and really changed that game for this Orange defense.
Not bad for a former running back, huh?
Yeah, he did a pretty good job.
For more on the conference now, let's check in with our Big East insider. Here's Eamon McEnany.
Well, Mike, as John Congemi just mentioned, Chaz Anderson will be the starting quarterback for the Cincinnati Bearcats today against Syracuse. And earlier this week, Doug Marrone told me a story about when he was an assistant at Tennessee playing LSU in the SEC championship game. Rohan Davey got hurt and came out. Matt Mack, the backup, onto the field. All he did was run for 2 touchdowns and lead LSU to an upset win over the Volunteers. So he told his players that story, and the message was, even though Anderson's the backup, do not let up. He is a dangerous threat. Back to last night's game in Connecticut. West Virginia senior nose tackle Chris Neal not pulling any punches, saying it's the lowest he has felt at any point during his football career. That is not the situation in store. Spoke to Randy Edsall this morning, and he told me it was huge for his program to get that monkey off their back, come up with that win over West Virginia. He thought a key adjustment was on the offensive end late in the first half, picking up the tempo. He thought that helped get Zach Frazier going. More importantly, get Jordan Todman going, Mike, for the Huskies to come from behind and pull off that upset last night in East Hartford.
All right, thanks a lot, Eamon. And Jordan Todman going over 100 again after being held to 80 yards against these Louisville Cardinals. What about our game here today? Now, Dave Wanstead told us a couple of weeks ago they need the big play from the big playmakers. He got them last week.
The big play's back in the Pitt offense, and it's good that it is because it makes it so much easier for the quarterback and Tino Sinceri to move the football. He's been spectacular over the last 2 weeks, 7 touchdown passes in the last 2 games. And John Baldwin on the outside, 4 touchdowns on the season, but last week against Rutgers, 139 yards, 1 touchdown, and 2 spectacular one-handed grabs. But that's not all. The defense has been able to chip in as well. They've been relentless on opposing quarterbacks. 7 sacks last week, and they dominated the line of scrimmage. And it's just not one guy. It's people in the secondary like Don DeSico coming up with big plays. So this Panther defense has been relentless. They're going to first have to stop the run today and then get to the quarterback.
First road game in Big East play for Charlie Strong, the first-year coach for the Louisville Cardinals, and these Louisville Cardinals are definitely buying into what he's selling.
It's a good message. Charlie Strong is a good human being and a great football coach, and I think he's teaching his players how to win again. It's the chemistry and the camaraderie in the locker room. That's what he's trying to bring back to this program, and he's also trying to bring back productivity on the offense, and that's Blau Powell at the running back position. He's already over 1,000 yards on the season and 9 touchdowns. His single season best before this year was 392 yards. He's been sensational. He'll have to run the football for Louisville to win today.
Well, John Powell has 4 straight 100-yard rushing games. Pittsburgh has yet to give up a 100-yard rusher. Louisville-Pittsburgh, the kickoff is coming up.
When it's people who do the right thing, they call it being responsible. When it's an insurance company, they call it Liberty Mutual. Responsibility. What's your policy? Liberty Mutual.
When people say, Mike, why Ford? Why now? You know what I tell them? Fuel efficiency. Take the Ford Focus with up to an EPA estimated 35 highway miles per gallon.
Gas mileage is huge for me, so that's great.
Or the 2010 Ford Fusion with fuel economy that Honda Accord and Toyota Camry can't top.
Amazing.
And if you're looking for the most fuel-efficient SUV on the planet, that would be the Escape Hybrid. Ford's helping make the world a little greener.
Now, current competitive lessees can lease an Escape for $209 a month for 27 months. Just $209.
Visit your local Ford dealer and drive one.
Today's Big East Network game is brought to you by PNC, for the achiever in us all. Champion, it's how you play. Bud Light, it's the sure sign of a good time. Here we go. Liberty Mutual Insurance, responsibility, what's your policy? Tradewinds Resort on St. Pete Beach, Florida. Go long, our beach is open. Papa John's, official pizza of your NFL game day. Vonage, sounds good. And by the 4th annual DirecTV SEC Big East Invitational, December 8th and 11th in both Louisville and Pittsburgh. And for the second straight Saturday afternoon, it's turned out to be a gorgeous day here in Pittsburgh. The Panthers, they won the toss. They deferred, so Louisville will have the football first, and we go downstairs and check in with Eamon.
The Louisville defensive coaches this week, they're very concerned about giving up the jump ball deep. They've been susceptible to that so far this season, and the main problem is Pittsburgh's very good at that with 6'5" Mike Shanahan and John Baldwin. So they're going to have the safeties play over the top and give the cornerbacks help from the jump ball, but they don't want to do that too much, Mike, because they're afraid that'll give Ray Graham and Dion Lewis too much room to run in the open field. So they're going to have to balance that out with the safeties throughout the game against Pitt in this one.
All right, thanks a lot, Eamon. As we take a look at Charlie Strong in his first year, and John, the way Pittsburgh's playing right now, if you're a defensive coordinator, it's almost like pick your poison with this team.
Yeah, it's a two-headed sword at running back because you have the capable Dion Lewis who really found his legs last week, and you have Ray Graham who's been getting the big play on the outside. John Baldwin and Mike Shanahan, all those guys, and Tino Sinceri for Dave Wannstedt's crew on offense have been getting the big play back in the Pittsburgh offense. So Coach Wannstedt right now on a little bit of a roll, but he wants to worry about today. This is a different Louisville team that he'll face, and the Panthers will have to play their best to win today.
Kevin Harper, the sophomore from Mentor, Ohio. He was booming them last Saturday into the end zone, and this one is going to be taken by Jeremy Wright, and Wright is up over the 25, the 26-yard line. And he returns at 24, and that's where the Louisville Cardinals will take over. And we'll get our first look, John Congemi, at Adam Froman, the senior from Santa Rosa, California.
Adam's done a nice job this season of really protecting the football, making good decisions, and his numbers are vastly improved from last year to this year already with 11 touchdowns and only 4 interceptions. So that'll be a key for him today. Protect the football and get that running game started.
His Cardinal offense, number 1, rushing the football, number 2, passing it, number 2 in total offense. They've really bought into what Charlie Strong is selling. Out of the shotgun, Froman swings it out. It's complete and up over the 30-yard line. That's Doug Beaumont, his first catch. Gain of 5. Dom DeSico makes the stop. Let's take a look at the Cardinals now offensively. Beaumont leads the receiving parade with 24 catches, about 13 yards a catch. Josh Bellamy, 18 catches, about 16 yards. And you look at the big guys up front. Stingley's a senior. Wetter's a senior. Byram's a senior. Tomczyk's a senior. A lot of experience, John.
Well, you mentioned Byram, 145 tickets for family and friends. He's right outside of Pittsburgh.
There's that defense stepping up. Big number 97, Jabal Sheard. A loss of 3 on the play. And speaking of defense, speaking of the Panthers, we take a look at Jabal Sheard. He comes in with 7 sacks, but 14 quarterback hurries. On the other side, Brandon Lindsay, now with 8 sacks after 3 last week. Roberts, Gruder Williams at the linebacker spot. Reed and Ricky Gary at the corners. Jared Holley, Dom DeSico at the safeties. DeSico coming up with a pick last week against Rutgers. Jared Holley has 4 on the season, 7 in his career. Froman. This one's going to be complete up near the midfield stripe. And again, it's number 27, Doug Beaumont, out of Louisville, Kentucky. Picks up 18. Jared Holley on the stop. And Dave Wannstedt just telling us yesterday, this Beaumont, he's a good football player.
He's a really good football player. He gets in and out of routes very quickly, and he'll go up and attack the football. And head coach Charlie Strong says of his wide receiver, his senior, give me 10 Doug Beaumonts, and I'll be just fine on the offense, on defense, on special teams. I'll take him along with the rest of them.
That's 30 consecutive games now with at least 1 catch for Beaumont. He has 2 already here today. Here's Beaumont again. Obviously, number 27's written into their game plan. That's 3 catches already here in the first quarter. Picks up 6 more. Miles Carrageen brings him down.
Beaumont's an interesting story. He had a knee surgery after the 3rd game against Oregon State. And he only missed 2 games, and he really came back with a huge punt return in the 3rd quarter against UConn, a 74-yarder. But he took a device home with him. It puts air pressure on his leg. He slept with it. He was there at 6 in the morning. He got himself healthy and back on the football field.
Yeah, he had a string of 27 consecutive starts. Ended after that injury that you speak of. Here's the pitch to the left side, and it's number 15, Bilal Powell. Comes in averaging 7.1 yards a carry. Brandon Lindsay makes the stop. How about Congemi's keys for Louisville?
Well, I think Louisville needs to run the football with Powell and be aggressive and stay downhill, but they also have to stay clean. They have to keep their quarterback upright and protect him. And then on the other side, defensively, they have to stop the 1-2 punch of the Panthers' running attack with Dion Lewis and Ray Graham.
They'll put it up on a passing down on the 3rd down. And this one's complete to Andrell Smith. Picks up 4, picks up the first down. And Smith, that's catch number 12. You know, John, we're talking about going downfield with Froman. We mentioned that Beaumont averages about 13 yards a catch. Bellamy, 16. Smith averaging 17 yards a catch. And even the tight ends get into the action.
What's interesting what Louisville's trying to do right now, and offensive coordinator Mike Stanford, they're spreading the football out, throwing that bubble hitch or that bubble screen to the outside, and then running downhill. So right now the Panther defense, not sure if they could go sideline to sideline or be tough at the point of attack.
Froman, 4 for 4, 32 yards. Make it 5 for 5. He sings this one out. And it's complete down inside the 40-yard line. That's Paul on the receiving end, his 11th catch. But back to the line of scrimmage, so no gain actually on the play, but that is Powell's 11th catch of his 2010 season. Froman already 1,500 yards, 1,551 coming in. 11 touchdowns, 4 picks, 61%. Numbers actually mirror Tino Sinceri of Pittsburgh. And this one's complete. Again, it's Beaumont. Beaumont down to the 25-yard line. And he's dragged down by Jared Hawley after a 14-yard gain.
Max Gruder, the middle linebacker, falls down in coverage. And that's just an easy pitch and catch from quarterback to wideout. And right now, the Louisville Cardinals really moving the football effectively. And we talked about Beaumont in and out of routes. Well, he leaves the middle linebacker on the ground about the 25-yard line. And this is a very impressive drive by Louisville right now to open this football game.
Froman made his first start last year against Pittsburgh, was sacked 6 times. There's that Wildcat now. Dominique Brown, the freshman out of Cincinnati, fighting for some extra yardage down to the 18. Dom DeSico brings him down. Look at this, John, as far as mirroring each other. 30 points, 30.3. Look at the time of possession, passing yards. You know, 25 touchdowns. Both have 12 touchdown passes. It's amazing how close they are.
It really is. And you think of Pittsburgh the last couple of weeks of really rolling over and putting some points on people. But Louisville's doing a nice job this season of just gaining confidence in their team. And you can tell by the opening drive.
10th play of the drive started way back on the 28-yard line. Froman, Beaumont again tries to cut up. Yeah, good defensive play coming up is Ricky Gary. A fifth-year senior out of Florida makes the stop.
This is where Louisville's had trouble in the scoring zone, in the plus 20 in that red zone. They're 7th in the Big East Conference at 77.3%, and the Pitt Panthers have to find a way to slow down Adam Froman on 3rd and 3 here. There's the numbers, 10 touchdowns and 7 field goals. They've only given up 7 sacks on the season, but this would be a good time for one at the Verizon Red Zone.
Brought to you by Verizon Wireless. Froman looks right, comes back left, and well, that one was up for grabs. Number 38, Greg Williams, coming up to the linebacker spot. Remember, he has 3 defensive touchdowns in his career. So the drive started way back at the 28-yard line. That's going to bring up a kicking situation now for Chris Philpott, who had 4 field goals last week. He's 11 of 14 on the year. This one will be spotted at the 25. A 35-yard kick. He's perfect 3 for 3 from this distance so far this fall. And Philpott, 4 for 4 last week, 1 for 1 here this afternoon. He's now hit 6 field goals in a row. Philpott converts. Cardinals score first on their first drive, and Charlie Strong's on top, 3-0.
Want a better way to track what you spend? PNC Virtual Wallet now comes with Spending Zone. It organizes all your spending, including your PNC debit card, credit card, and your bills. So you can view them by category or by month. You can set a budget, and it'll even alert you when you're getting close to the amount you've set and when you've gone over. Spending Zone is built to help you keep better track of your spending. Experience everything Virtual Wallet has to offer at pncvirtualwallet.com. PNC, for the achiever in us all.
Honda EU Series generators are perfect for hardcore tailgaters. They provide reliable power for all sorts of things, and they're incredibly quiet.
I got this one.
Which neighbors really appreciate. Honda generators.
Bring it.
It's time for the Bud Light Playbook. Today, how to work the weekend without missing the game.
What's up?
Since we're stuck here working the weekend, I hooked up the projector to show the game.
And I brought in some Bud Light.
Thompson! Excellent job.
Are they hiring? Bud Light, the sure sign of a good time. Here we go.
Some people think Allstate only protects your car. Here's the truth. Allstate can also protect your home or apartment, as well as your boat, motorcycle, RV, and snowmobile, and even your retirement and your life. Not many insurance companies can say that, but Allstate can. Now that you know the truth, know this. The more of your world you put in good hands, the more you can save. Dollar for dollar, nobody protects you like Allstate.
It's Halloween, and Papa John's is giving you a big treat.
Papa's in the house.
Get all large pizzas for just $10. Even specialties like the meats. And John's favorite, just $10. Only through Halloween, and only at the new PapaJohns.com.
Your pizza is amazing.
No tricks, just Papa's big treat. All large pizzas, just $10. Happy Halloween from our family to yours.
Better ingredients, better pizza, PapaJohns.com.
This Big East telecast is brought to you in stunning high definition. As we ride the incline, we talk about a very impressive opening drive from the Louisville Cardinals.
Awesome. 12 plays, 54 yards taken, 6:13 off the clock. Beaumont, the wide receiver in the drive, had 5 catches for 42 yards, and Froman, the quarterback, 7 for 8 for 46 yards. The 35-yarder by Philpott makes the score 3-0 Louisville, and they come out smoking on offense.
They converted 2 third-down situations. They come in number 3 in the Big East at 40% in that category as Philpott gets ready to kick off now. Cameron Sadler, the redshirt sophomore from Monroeville, Pennsylvania, goes deep along with number 1 Ray Graham. Graham averaging 25, almost 25 and a half yards per return. And this one's heading for number 5. In the end zone, it's Sadler. Thought about not returning it. And he's up over the 15. He'll be shy of the 20, so probably would have been well advised to stay in the end zone. He returns at 21 yards. Penalty flag dropped. You know, John, it's interesting. You talk about both teams averaging 30 points and how they mirror each other. Both teams with 55 penalties, so even in that category. Dennis Hennigan is our Big East official, the referee.
Offside, 86 on the kicking team, 5-yard penalty, replay the kickoff.
Zach Meager, a junior from Cincinnati, Glen Estes High School, is charged with the infraction, so they're coming back and they're going to kick it all over again.
This is always a tough situation, too, for the special teams. You just ran down to cover a kick, and now you have to line back up from 5 yards back and run down and cover, so it's always a concern if you're a kickoff cover to make sure everybody gives as much on the second one as they did on the first one.
Let's take a look now at the Big East standings, brought to you by Tradewinds Resort on St. Pete Beach. Go long, our beach is open. Well, Pittsburgh, the last of the Mohicans as far as the unbeaten teams in the Big East. And again, West Virginia, I thought they were going to run away with things when Pittsburgh was struggling offensively, and now the Mountaineers are 1-2.
Yeah, the Mountaineers really struggled last night with turnovers, and the big surprises are the Orange and Louisville doing a great job in conference, and overall Syracuse at 5-2 and Louisville at 4-3.
Syracuse, Louisville on the Big East Network Game of the Week from the Dome next Saturday afternoon. There's Cam Sadler, Chris Philpott ready to kick things off again, the junior from Atlanta, Georgia. Kicking from the 25-yard line. And again, this time it's Graham at the 4. Graham finds a crease up over the 35, and he's dropped just shy of the 40-yard line. A week ago, we sat here, and Ray Graham took the first kick back 40 yards, this time 37.
Well, instant field position for the Panthers. They improve close to 23 yards with the penalty, and it's a good job going north and south by Ray Graham. He's determined to get up the field and make a big play, and he just does get to the 40-yard line. So the Panthers and Tino Sinceri have instant field position. This is a guy that's starting to get it at the quarterback position.
Lewis with 130 yards rushing last week, starts in the backfield. He gets the call. And not a whole lot of running room up front against the big boys. So Tino Sinceri, 78% last week, and Mom and Dad are in the stands.
That's right.
Tuscaloosa.
Absolutely. Sal Sinceri, who's a coach on that staff at Alabama, has the off week, so get to see his son and come in and play. And I think the anticipation with Tino in the passing department has been spectacular over the last 2 weeks, and he's been very decisive throwing the football.
This time out of the I formation, Lewis stops and starts, little stutter step up over the 45, close to the 48. Daniel Brown brings him down, a gain of 9. As we take a look now at the Pitt Panthers offensively, Baldwin last week, 27.8 yards a catch, 5 for 139. He's got 4 scoring strikes now. And up front, Pinkston, the 5th-year senior, Jacobson, redshirt junior, Carabin, a 5th-year senior, Nix, the junior, and Gibbs, a redshirt junior up front. Starting to get the job done, opening those holes for the running backs. Lewis slipped through the hole. Inside the 45, a gain of 8 more. So his last 2 carries, he picks up 17 yards. Let's look at the Cardinals defensively up front. William Savoy. Brandon Dunn starting in the place of Greg Scruggs, who's still a little bit nicked up. Tim High and Malcolm Tatum. Linebackers, Brandon Heath, he's the leader. Dexter Heyman plays in the middle. Daniel Brown is only a sophomore. And the secondary, Bobby Burns and Johnny Patrick at the corners. Hakeem Smith and Shenard Holton at the safety. Smith, a redshirt freshman. Holton, just a sophomore. Holton, number 1 in tackles with 40. Smith right behind with 39. Sinceri fires, and they're looking for Shanahan. That's Johnny Patrick, number 19 in coverage. Patrick with 3 INTs in the last 4 games. He has 7 in his career, like Holly does for Pittsburgh on the other side.
That's a good play on first down by the Louisville defense and good tight coverage by Patrick. Thought that was a nice throw by Tino Sinceri. The only place he could get it to Mike Shanahan was low and inside, but a better play defensively.
Shanahan, last 3 games, 12 catches, 166 yards. That's Baldwin in motion. Little pitch out to Deion Lewis. Lewis still on his feet, spins inside the 35, down to about the 33, gains 9. Brandon Dunn, the true freshman from Louisville, Kentucky, drags him down.
Well, I think Deion Lewis last week found what was missing in this Pitt offense, and that was the productivity from him running the football. Last week, he had a terrific afternoon, 1 touchdown against Rutgers and 130 yards, but he started making the better play, and he just got the 4 yards when it was there, but the big play capability out of 28 was back last week.
Lewis 4 for 26 so far here this afternoon. Here's his number called again, and he's all the way down to the 25-yard line, moving the chains. 7 more for number 28, Deion Lewis. Dave Wanstead telling us in the meeting yesterday that he has a different look in his eye now, and that smile's back on his face.
Yeah, and he's practicing a little bit better, Mike, and I think that's the key. When you practice better, it carries over into the game, and I know that Dave Wanstead really likes to see that at practice. And this offensive line has been doing a terrific job. Chris Jacobson there, number 54, getting from the left side, pulling over to the right side, and a key block on the play.
And some fake razzle-dazzle. They give it to the first man, which is Lewis. They fake the handoff to Baldwin. Johnny Patrick came up to make the stop. Gain of only 1 that time.
This is a situation here with the Pitt offense now on first down. When you get the running game, you don't get a lot. You look for the play action and maybe slip that tight end Mike Cruz out and give Sinceri the option to get on the outside and either throw it to his tight end or go down the field for a big play to John Baldwin.
That's Cruz moving out from the tight end spot into the slot. Hynoski in motion. Nice job by Sinceri, and the whole field opened up in front of him. Tino Sinceri inside the 15-yard line. Stepped up nicely in the pocket, John, and all of a sudden it was like the parting of the Red Sea.
Well, that's one of the things you don't see in this Pitt offense, but it was a nice opportunity for Tino to tuck the football underneath his right arm and make a big play on the offense. You're going to see in this picture a little pressure. Sinceri steps up, no frame, so he's able to tuck the football out and get the first down. A nice move there around the 20-yard line, and he gets the football inside the 15.
Panthers have scored 9 straight red zone possessions now, 6 touchdowns, 3 field goals. Huge improvement from earlier in the season. Sinceri, and this one's batted down at the line of scrimmage, coming in very quickly. Number 58, that's Rodney Natt, the senior from Jacksonville, Florida. Let's take a look now at the Panthers and how they're doing in the red zone, brought to you by Verizon Wireless.
Pitt's been productive, 85.7%, 14 touchdowns and 10 field goals. That ranks second in the Big East Conference, and I think they've come a long way in this department just because of the anticipation and the decisive decisions by their quarterback, Sinceri.
2 weeks ago, John, they were at 42% scoring touchdowns in the red zone. Now they're up to 50 after the last couple of weeks. And Dion Lewis takes it inside the 10-yard line. That was the 10th play of the drive, which started back at the 40. Daniel Brown, Tim High bringing him down. And what about the keys for Pitt?
Well, I thought the big players in the Pitt offense needed to make big plays and continue to do that. And that's Sinceri, Baldwin, and then the running backs of Lewis and Graham. And on defense, they're going to have to swarm the running attack of Louisville. They didn't do a good job spreading themselves thin defensively, and Louisville was able to move the football down and kick a field goal. But they'll have to stop the running attack of Bilal Powell.
So Lewis, who averaged 7.6 yards a carry last week, gives way to Ray Graham, who's averaging 7.6 for the season. So Graham in the backfield now with Sinceri. Here comes the rush. Again, Sinceri avoids it with a shovel pass. Baldwin inside the 10. And a gain of 1 on the play, but again, Shenard Holton, the sophomore, brings him down. Heads up play by Sinceri, even though they only picked up 1.
It was a good play offensively to keep the play alive, but let's credit both of these defenses. Offenses for both Louisville and Pittsburgh were able to go down from 20 to 20 and move the football, but both defenses come up tough, and now Pitt has an opportunity with Dan Hutchins to come in and tie this football game.
This will be a 26-yard kick for Hutchins. He comes in 12 of 16 of the year. He's 4 for 5 from that distance, so right down the middle. So make it 5 for 6. 2 impressive drives, but as John mentioned, both times ending in field goals. So Charlie Strong and the Cards will have the ball when we come back, tied at 3.
Accident doesn't have to slow you down. From new car replacement and guaranteed repairs to accident forgiveness, we do all we can to help you move on. Liberty Mutual Auto Insurance. Responsibility. What's your policy?
Polaris is having a factory authorized clearance, which means you can get financing as low as 3.99% and up to $1,200 in rebates on vehicles like the Ranger Razor or the Sportsman XP or the Ranger XP. That's financing as low as 3.99% and up to $1,200 in rebates. Hey, it's all about the deal. That's all you need to know, right? All deal, no hype. The Polaris factory authorized clearance. Going on now.
SNY.TV, your online home of all things New York sports.
Coming up on the Sprint halftime show, our guys break down aspects of the offenses.
I'm going to look at who's got the best running attack. Is it Bilal Powell or the combination of Pitt running attack, Dion Lewis and Ray Graham?
And I will break down the quarterback. I can't wait to hear it all today on the Sprint halftime.
Big East football on SNY is brought to you by Sprint. Stay in the game with the $69.99 plan from Sprint and get way more than the other guys. Visit sprint.com/football for more details.
Callahan, you're on desk duty. Turn in your weapon.
Movies just got more awesome. Download and watch them on the go at 4G speeds with the Epic 4G. The smartphone ranked #1 by PC World.
2:40 left in the first quarter from Pittsburgh, all tied up at 3-3, and the similarities continue to mirror each other.
They really do. On the opening drive, Louisville went 12 plays for 54 yards, taking 6:13 off the clock with 3 points. Pitt on that drive, the Hutchins 26-yard field goal, 12 plays, 51 yards, taking 6:07 off of the clock, and Dion Lewis 7 rushes for 37 yards. So just a nice job of answering a score, and Louisville now gets the football back and see if they can continue to stretch Pittsburgh from sideline to sideline. And there's the similarities, Mike, just eerie. And both running backs in that series had a nice job, but I thought Froman did a good job of spreading the football outside to get it on those quick screen plays and really force Pitt, the defense, sideline to sideline.
Yeah, Froman really looks poised back there. I mean, I always thought he was probably the better of the quarterback combo or trio last year, but really playing with a lot of confidence this year, as is Tino Sinceri of Pittsburgh now. So Kevin Harper, the sophomore from Mentor, Ohio, getting ready to kick off for the second time here this afternoon. He'll be kicking it to Blaine Donnell, the senior from Louisville, Kentucky, along with Jeremy Wright, redshirt freshman from Florida. Not quite as far. It's a high kick, and it's taken at the 7-yard line by Jeremy Wright. Wright slides through a crease up over the 30. Penalty flag dropped at the 19. That's the second penalty flag so far this afternoon. A return of 23 for Wright.
Holding, 83 on the return team. 10-yard penalty, first down.
83 is Cameron Graham, who Phil Bennett said probably will be a big key in this game. We're going to take a timeout. We'll be back here in Heinz Field as this game continues. Louisville, Pittsburgh, tied up at 3.
Want a better way to track what you spend? PNC Virtual Wallet now comes with Spending Zone. It organizes all your spending, including your PNC debit card, credit card, and your bills, so you can view them by category or by month. You can set a budget, and it'll even alert you when you're getting close to the amount you've set and when you've gone over. Spending Zone is built to help you keep better track of your spending. Experience everything Virtual Wallet has to offer at pncvirtualwallet.com. PNC, for the achiever in us all.
AT&T covers 97% of all Americans. Rethink possible.
What's the big news in Priority Mail flat rate boxes and envelopes from the Postal Service? Over 1 billion used. With envelopes starting at just $4.90, flat rate shipping is the hassle-free way to ship. Pass it on.
With flat rate boxes, there's no need to weigh anything up to 70 pounds. If it fits, it ships.
You ship all different sizes?
Distributor caps to brake shoes, so 4 box sizes come in handy. If it fits, it ships.
Documents to different states?
Coast to coast. With flat rate envelopes, I ship anywhere in the country. International, too, for a low flat rate.
Now we'd like to pass on this offer to you. Call or go online to order your free flat rate shipping kit. You get free boxes, envelopes, and our helpful shipping guide. I'll even deliver them to your door for free. It's an offer too good to pass up.
Call or go online now to order your free Priority Mail flat rate shipping kit, only from the Postal Service, a simpler way to ship.
Louisville Cardinals and the Pitt Panthers all knotted up at 3-3 with 2:33 to go in the first quarter. Big East fans want to win a trip with VIP access to the Beef O'Brady's Bowl. Catch some sun, 4 nights of fun at Tradewinds Resort on warm and sunny St. Pete Beach. Go to tradewindsresort.com/win and enter today. So the Louisville Cardinals for their second possession of the afternoon. The first one culminating with a 35-yard field goal by Chris Philpott. First drive started at the 28-yard line, and this one starting just over the 10-yard line. That's Graham, the tight end, in motion. And Powell gets the call. He's up over the 13, close to the 14-yard line. Chaz Alexi makes the stop, and Powell having a bang-up year.
He really is, and he does it with determination. He's got toughness in between the tackles because no one can stop him after the first hit, and he's got that speed and that burst when he gets to the edge, but I like him inside the tackles because he's a banger. He's going to go north and south and continue to stay on his feet and make big plays for this Louisville offense.
3 carries, only 2 yards so far for Powell. He comes in averaging 143 a ball game. Fullman They give it to Powell, and he slides through a hole on the left side, and Powell's up over the 20-yard line. Got to get to about the 23 for the first down. Jason Hendricks, the redshirt freshman, making the stop. And you look at the 1,000-yard rushers. Of course, Denard Robinson, Cam Newton, Kendall Hunter, and Mr. Powell there with 1,015 on the year.
I think it's a great story what Charlie Strong's been able to do. He told Powell when he came into Louisville, you know, I recruited 6 or 7 guys and took them to Florida from your same area. I saw you play high school football, and I've watched you for 2 years, and they haven't done it. You haven't run it like that. Now you're starting to run it like I saw you in high school.
Today's 1st and 10 line is brought to you by Overstock.com. Froman, play action. Looks, fires down the field, and I don't know, John. I think that was a catchable football. It was underthrown to Andrew Smith, the sophomore from Miami, but I'll just leave it at that. I think it was a catchable football.
Well, he was open, and I think Froman just missed him. It was one of those situations where if he makes a better throw, that might be 6 points. A little double move to the outside by the sophomore. 6'4" target going down the field on a post pattern. And I know Adam would like to have that one back because he's having a nice afternoon, 7 for 9 percentage-wise for 46 yards. But that was a potential for a big play.
Donnell, number 45, in the backfield now with Froman. Well, that rush was coming, but Froman completes the ball anyway. And the big tight end with his first catch, Cameron Graham. That's his 23rd catch of the year. Dom DeSico on the play defensively for the Panthers. They pick up 6 on that play.
And that's a nice open field tackle on a big guy. Cameron Graham goes 6'4", 248, but Dom DeSico does a great job of showing strength in the open field, of securing the tackle, and then getting the big tight end out of bounds and keeping Pitt's defense in a 3rd and medium situation.
Cardinals, as we mentioned, 40%. That's the 3rd best in the Big East as far as converting these 3rd downs. They converted twice on their first drive. Froman fires, has his man up over the 30, and it's going to be shy. That's Beaumont with the catch. Jackson and Hendricks defensively for the Panthers. They pick up 4.
And they may be just short of this first down. And it's a good job by the Louisville scheme on 3rd down by Mike Sanford, the offensive coordinator. The Panthers defense has been turning up the sack pressure on the opposition the last couple of weeks. So right now, it looks like the theme is to get the ball snapped and get it out of the pocket. And Froman's doing a nice job. But on that spot, it may just be about a half of a football short.
A little early to go for on 4th down, don't you think? I mean, they're going to bring out the punting team if they don't get it.
Well, let's see. It's going to be close either way, Mike.
17 seconds to go in the first quarter. And it is very close. Less than a yard.
I think you have to punt the football here if you're Charlie Strong, only because the way this game's going right now, the offenses have moved pretty easily in between the 20s, but it's tough sledding and tough getting points today. So Dave wants that special teams, the punt return, will have an opportunity to create a big play.
Josh Blazer, number 40. He's a junior from Park Hill, Kentucky, on to punt. They'll be punting at about the 20-yard line. That's Cam Sadler for the Pitt Panthers. To return it, he's averaging 11.2 yards per return. And Blazer hits the side of his foot, but takes a Louisville bounce inside the 30-yard line. Gets off a 38-yard punt. He came in averaging about 39.9. But it takes the Cardinal bounce, and the Panthers will have the football now. 6 seconds to go here in the first quarter. Let's take a look now at our Big East leaders, brought to you by PNC for the achiever in us all.
In all-purpose yards, Ray Graham heads the list at 170.7, and Bilal Powell from Louisville, 159.6. We've seen him run the football effectively, and now Graham's going to get his opportunity.
Graham came in with 645 yards, averaging 107.5 a ball game. He dots the I. Ryan Hanoski. For that play action, Hanoski with another catch. So the redshirt junior fullback pulls in another one. That's his 18th catch already this year. This one goes for 8, and that's going to be the final play of the first 15 minutes of play here from Heinz Field. Halloween weekend here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Who's masquerading? Well, we'll find out in 3 quarters. We're heading for the quarter number 2 when we come back.
At Overstock.com, we've designed our site to be easy to shop, and we have the low prices you want every day on name brand products up to 70% off. And your entire order ships for just $2.95. Overstock.com, at home with the O.
Let's throw on those Saturday clothes. It's doing season. When we grab a little spare time and get after it. We're lowering the cost of weekend projects, making things happen. Less with our wallets and more with our own 2 hands. More saving, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot. Get this American Standard 4-inch Symphony faucet for the new lower price of just $68.
At Overstock.com, we've designed our site to be easy to shop, and we have the low prices you want every day on name brand products up to 70% off. And your entire order ships for just $2.95. Overstock.com, at home with the O.
Oh, this one has high ceilings.
Yeah. Oh, look, a fireplace.
Yeah, fireplace. Hey, we can put a pool out here. Huh? Stainless steel appliances.
Yeah, nice.
No, I got the munchies. I think I'm gonna make a sandwich.
Now?
Yeah.
Introducing Optimum Homes. Thousands of home listings right on your TV 24/7. Find your next home without leaving home.
For a free 2-ounce color sample, log on to benjaminmoore.com/regional.
The images from Haiti are heartbreaking. Homes, hospitals, and schools are destroyed. Families searching for loved ones, parents trying to feed their children. But we can all do something. We can help the American Red Cross as it delivers the food, water, and medicine that can save lives. Donate $10 by texting Haiti to 90999. Visit redcross.org or call 1-800-RED-CROSS. Thanks for your help.
My parents have always lived in Queens, until 2 years ago when my dad transferred to Istanbul. They settled in quickly, found their local deli, a few shortcuts, and a neighborhood hangout. But there's one thing they miss: their beloved New York Mets. So I asked Citi how many thank you points it would take to give them something special. Their old seats, 5 and 6, row C.
Citi thank you points can be used for almost anything you choose. What's your story? Citi can help you write it.
Back in Pittsburgh, all tied up inside Heinz Field. Louisville, Pittsburgh, 3-3. All season long champion apparel will be showcasing the tradition and history of the Big East Conference. And today we take a look at the facilities over there for the Pitt Panthers / Pittsburgh Steelers. And what a great setup over there, John. I'm sure you wish they had that when you played quarterback here. And some of these young Pittsburgh Panther players passing the likes of Troy Polamalu and Ben Roethlisberger going to practice.
Let's just say it's nothing like what we had up on the hill. But, yeah, we had some special memories, but they have facilities that rival none, and it's a great opportunity for the Panthers to come in to, you know, to go in and work out and go to practice every day and see the Pittsburgh Steelers right next door.
Yeah, really. Last week, the meeting with Dave Wanstead before the Rutgers game, and right behind, through the windows, the Steelers getting ready for their game with the Miami Dolphins. And I know you do some work for the Miami Dolphins now, so I'm not sure if you should have been in that room at the time. But
it didn't help.
First play of the second quarter now. Sinceri wants to put it up, and he swings it out to Graham. And it's snuffed out there by Brandon Heath, the senior linebacker from West Palm Beach, Florida. Picks up 1 on the play. So Graham, last year in this game, he had 12 carries for 75 yards, and Deion Lewis had 21 carries for 87 yards, so neither hit the 100-yard mark, but they shared some duties last year.
Yeah, what a difference a year makes for Ray Graham. He fought through his injuries last year, and when he had his opportunity to shine early in this season, he's really been spectacular for this Pitt offense.
And Graham gets the call again, looking for that 40-yard line. He's not going to get it, though, because that Louisville defense stepped up big time there. You see number 52. That's Antoine Candidate. He's a senior from Georgia.
maybe just short of that 41-yard line. It looks like Mikey had a stretch over a good yard and a half over that 40-yard line. So Dave Wannstedt will have the same decision that Charlie Strong. We talked about the similarities in this game. A lot of the decisions are going to come back, and it's probably going to be about the same length of that football or half of football short for the Panthers.
You know, we've talked in previous broadcasts about Dave Wannstedt in the NFL and his college days. He prefers to have the guy, that one back. And now, of course, they have Graham and Lewis. You can see how short. This is even shorter.
Well, here's where
here's
where the similarities are going to change. The Panthers at least have their offense on the football field, and it looks like Dave Wannstedt either going to try to draw the Louisville Cardinal defense off sides or go for it on 4th down.
It was so close they remeasured. And the chain's finally leaving the field now. 4th and inches. So tied for 5th in the Big East. 4th for 10 on 4th downs. Henry Hinoski, 6'2", 260-pound fullback. In the backfield along with number 1. That's Ray Graham.
Mike, I always thought in this situation you don't even really have to have a snap count. When no one's over the center, the quarterback should just come up and actually just call for the ball and run a quarterback sneak.
Now they're going to pick up the 1st down, and it's going to be Ray Graham up to the 45-yard line, so he found a nice hole on the right side. He picks up 5 on the play. Ray Graham playing second fiddle last year, but this play against Notre Dame was a big one, and this one made the highlight reel. Stops, changes direction, stops, changes direction. I remember watching this, I almost fell off my couch watching him go down the field.
Well, he's been spectacular for the Panthers this year and trying to protect the football when he does all these spins going down the field, because you can get in a lot of trouble, and the Panthers trying to go for it all here on 1st down.
Wow, nice catch, and Sari hits his man, and that's number 82, Baldwin. Gain of 15 on the play. Hakeem Smith, the redshirt freshman safety, in coverage for Louisville.
Mike, the biggest difference in this Pitt offense is that quarterback. When Tino Sinceri gets back and he sets his foot in the ground, he steps up and he's decisive, he's seeing the field, and it always helps to have a big target going across the middle in John Baldwin. Yes, that ball was just a touch behind, but a very catchable football to a reliable target. In the last 2 starts, the percentages were up, the touchdowns were up, and the turnovers were way down.
Yes, and Sari really coming into a groove. Through some razzle-dazzle now with Devin Street. Cuts up inside the 40-yard line. And they pick up 1 on the play, so that's twice now that Frank Signetti went to the bag of tricks, and both times they picked up 1 yard, so they might be better well served just sticking to the old game plan.
Yeah, right on that fringe of the 40-yard line where most offensive coordinators like to go in and try to do something different, because the defenses usually are very predictable in their defense, and Pitt trying to get on the reverse on the edge, but Louisville doing a better job of holding their ground.
So a gain of 1, 2nd and 9 now. We're in the second quarter in Heinz Field. Hinoski and Graham still in the backfield behind Sinceri. And a false start. And the penalty flag dropped inside the 40-yard line.
False start. 54 offense. 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
54 is Chris Jacobson, the redshirt junior from Pittsburgh.
You know, we've been crediting Pitt and Dave Wannstedt in this offense for the big plays, but really the offensive line has been the change in this offense as well, because they've been playing together as a unit over the last couple of weeks. They finally got their synergy together and who they wanted where, and I think they've played better, and it's been a product of the big plays.
Yeah, that's a great point to Frank Signetti, saying from the Utah game to today, as Sinceri goes up looking for that home run ball, and there's the jump ball we talked about. Well, Eamon talked about that at the top of the broadcast. They gave up 3 of those against Cincinnati. Now they're going to say he's out of bounds. Or was he pushed out of bounds? They spotted the ball inside the 10-yard line.
They're going to spot it down inside the 10, Mike, so the official's going to have to talk this one over.
They picked up 35 on the play.
The ruling on the field is an incomplete pass.
Well, I don't know. It looked like his
I'm not
right
saying anything.
foot. I've been wrong pretty much all year, so I can continue to guess and be wrong, but it looks like his right foot.
Yeah, that might be a great call right there.
It's in. That first angle we had at it from the end zone looked like a better angle.
Under further review.
But Baldwin, he's been noted to go up and catch the football. Look at him. He's a good 1.5 feet, 2 feet above Johnny Patrick to catch the football. So that's a high percentage throw in play when you have Jonathan Baldwin. Here, Mike, is the best look of it. Let's see if we can see that right foot, if it hits the paint or not when he comes down.
Well, they're looking for indisputable video evidence, so I think it's going to stand incomplete. Bob Welsh, the replay official, is taking a look at it up in the booth. Boy, that is close. It's a lot closer. Last week when Rutgers scored their touchdown, I thought you nailed it. And Joe Martinick was out of bounds before he hit the pylon, and they did not overrule, and it stayed a touchdown. I thought he was out of bounds, but here it's too tough to call.
Well, this is going to be a product of what it was called on the field. It was called not a catch on the field, so it will probably continue to be not a catch. Right. If it was called a catch on the field, they were going to stick with the call. It's one of those things where it's held true all season long, for us at least, in the Big East Conference. I thought it was a catch, but it was ruled not a catch on the field.
Here's a call from Dennis Hennigan.
After further review, the rolling on the field stands is called. Incomplete pass, 3rd down.
Again, looking for indisputable video evidence, and like Terry McCauley, the supervisor of officials, who's an outstanding NFL ref, said the angles. So many times it's the angles, the camera angles.
I just think sometimes you have such proof that the officials, may have missed a call, that you have the ability to overturn a call by replay. And I do believe that Jonathan Baldwin was in bounds on this catch. I don't think his foot caught the paint at all.
On that note, right after this play, I had a caveat to the replay official as Sinceri fires downfield to Shanahan inside the 40. He's spun down. Picked up 9 on the play. Now, my point, John, is these officials, as we told Terry McCauley, they got a tough job. They do a great job. But the replay official, no one's going to blame the official for getting a call wrong. It happens so quickly. But, I mean, so many times this year, I think, that we saw on video like you said, they don't overrule them.
No. I mean, the one last week where Rutgers was down by the goal line, I mean, it was clear that the ball didn't hit the pylon, and should not have been a touchdown.
Well, there's a 4th down play. Sinceri working out of the shotgun. And Pittsburgh, nice job of picking up the blitz, but this is going to be a pass interference on Shanahan. Bobby Burns, the senior, in coverage, number 42. That offensive front for Pittsburgh did a great job picking up the blitz.
Pass interference, 42 defense, 15-yard penalty, 1st down.
Bird's upset about the call. It looked like he was trying to play that 3rd down play aggressively. And I'm not sure Mike Shanahan expected this football because his head was not around, but you could see the arms were down below around the waist early. I'm not sure if the ball was thrown as of that point, but the official makes the call, and now Pittsburgh are 1st and 10 inside the 25-yard line.
Cardinals, that's their 3rd penalty for 30 yards so far here today. Charlie Strong.
First time out of the half.
So the Cardinals are going to use up one of their 3 timeouts here in the first half. Charlie Strong will have 2 left, so we'll step away from Heinz Field. 10:56 to go before halftime. Louisville-Pittsburgh deadlock at 3.
Want a better way to track what you spend? PNC Virtual Wallet now comes with Spending Zone. It organizes all your spending, including your PNC debit card, credit card, and your bills. So you can view them by category or by month. You can set a budget, and it'll even alert you when you're getting close to the amount you've set and when you've gone over. Spending Zone is built to help you keep better track of your spending. Experience everything Virtual Wallet has to offer at pncvirtualwallet.com. PNC, for the achiever in us all.
The turn changes everything. The turn will make you think, make you re-examine your approach, change your line, innovate, and create one of the world's fastest reacting suspensions. Reading the road 1,000 times per second. It's the turn that leads you somewhere new. Introducing the new 2011 CTS V Coupe from Cadillac, the new standard of the world.
Let's go. Just let go. Just let go for the fun. Just let go for the adventure. For the lazy and the crazy times where the ocean meets the sun. Descend crisis. No matter what your pace is, you can get away, while away, hide away, break away. Trade winds Island Resort.
For great Florida rates, visit justletgo.com.
Just let go.
Doc, I just got your email. I'm out for the season?
Don't worry about that. I switched to Sprint's $69.99 plan, so I get unlimited emails.
What does that mean?
It means I'm dropping you for my fantasy team, that's for sure.
What does that mean about my knee?
Oh, your knee's totally shattered. You see how hard that guy hit you?
I don't want to see...
Hey, relax. Not costing me any extra.
Only Sprint gives you unlimited text, web, and calling to any mobile for just $69.99. Sprint, the Now Network.
What you call the greatest day of your life,
I'll be right back.
we call Tuesday. Caesars Atlantic City, routinely spectacular.
Inside 11 minutes before halftime, still tied up at 3-3, and Pitt basketball fans catch the Panthers as they compete in a doubleheader featuring Auburn, Rutgers, and Tennessee in the DirecTV SEC Big East Invitational, December 11th at the Consol Energy Center right here in Pittsburgh. For tickets and more information, visit www.secbigeastinvitational.com. Both teams averaging 30 points a game. Still tied up at 3-3. We're inside Heinz Field as the Pitt Panthers take on the Louisville Cardinals, along with John Congemi, the former Pittsburgh quarterback. Eamon McEnany down on the sidelines. I'm Mike Gleason. Great to have you with us as Pittsburgh now. This is their 9th play of the drive, started back at their own 31-yard line. Graham gets the call, cuts back, and gets inside the 20-yard line. I thought he was going to break one more time, but Louisville rebounded and came up with a defensive stop.
That's good pursuit by this Louisville defense. It looked like there was a big crease off the left side, but a nice job of closing that crease by the team speed of Louisville on defense. They do a nice job of rallying to the football. And this drive for the Panthers, 9 plays, 50 yards, started on their own 31-yard line.
Roy Fallon, another redshirt freshman, making the stop. There's a fumble. And Hanoski dives on it. Hanoski, I mentioned last week they had 3 busloads from his hometown. They lost 4 on that play, but saved the drive. What do you think, talking with the coaches in the meeting, John? Some of the nicknames, Hank the Tank, Heino the Rhino. I kind of like Heino the Rhino.
He's a do-everything. I mean, this is a guy that plays the position, and he can catch, he can block, he can go out and do anything you ask him to do offensively.
I mean, a tank is tough, but I can't imagine tackling a rhino.
No.
Sinceri. And he wisely throws it away and pays the price because now William Savoy. Let's go downstairs now and check in with Eamon.
Well, Mike, adding to the Hanoski angle, talking to Coach Dave Wanstead, as John mentioned, he can do a little bit of everything. Coach Wanstead says his experience with fullbacks, usually they're great blockers and not great athletes catching the ball, or they're great catchers, great receivers, but they don't really like to block. He's the full package, and he thinks next year when he's a senior going into the draft, he will be the #1 fullback picked in the NFL draft.
Well, he is a tough one. Boy, 7,100 yards in high school. What, 113 touchdowns?
Yeah, he was a do-everything in high school. Looked like, hopefully he's okay. Looked like the Pitt medical staff was taking a look at him on the sidelines.
There's a 42-yard attempt. Hutchins 0 for 2 on the year, and he nails his first one from this distance, so now he's 1 for 3. And Pittsburgh grabs the lead. No touchdown scored as of yet. 3 field goals. And when we come back, Charlie Strong will have his football team back on the field to see if he can get in the end zone.
Polaris is having a factory-authorized clearance, which means you can get financing as low as 3.99% and up to $1,200 in rebates on vehicles like the Ranger Razor or the Sportsman XP or the Ranger XP. That's financing as low as 3.99% and up to $1,200 in rebates. Hey, it's all about the deal. That's all you need to know, right? All deal, no hype. The Polaris factory-authorized clearance. Going on now.
Can a smartphone be its own guardian angel? Can it keep an eye out for itself? Literally show and tell you where it is when you don't even know yourself. Droid can with Lookout Mobile Security. One of thousands of free apps for the Droid X and Droid 2 by Motorola. Available on the ever-expanding Android market. When there's no limit to what Droid gets, there's no limit to what Droid does.
Break a leg.
Thanks.
We've got a 4:30 presentation.
We are the 4:30 presentation.
Easy does it. She's a big file. She needs time to buffer.
Why is that network so fast?
It's Optimum Wi-Fi. It's twice as fast as 3G. And it's free.
Where you going?
I gotta go embarrass myself on Facebook.
Optimum Wi-Fi, twice as fast as 3G and free for Optimum online customers. Turn on your Optimum Wi-Fi.
Now you can own a piece of American history, enshrining forever President Obama, increasing our national debt to a staggering $13.4 trillion. Clad in 24-karat fool's gold, the coin commemorates Carolyn McCarthy's votes for the Pelosi agenda an astounding 98% of the time. You can own this prize collectible for just your share of the national debt, plus all the taxes Pelosi can think of. Call Congresswoman McCarthy to order yours today.
Fran Becker has a better idea. Stop the spending and get America working again.
Number 15, Bilal Powell, coming in number 1 in the Big East. 143 yards a game so far. 4 carries and 12 yards against this Pittsburgh defense. Pittsburgh has not given up a 100-yard rusher as of yet. And it looks like they've zeroed in at number 15. All right, John, what about the Pittsburgh drives? No touchdowns yet, but a couple of 12-play drives.
2 12-play drives. This one goes for 45 yards and 5:32 off the clock, and a 42-yard field goal by Dan Hutchins. But time of possession, 11:39 for the Panthers, but only 6 points. And this is a team that has been a product of the big play the last couple of weeks, but right now this Louisville defense is really doing a nice job inside the 20-yard line, keeping the Panthers out of the end zone.
Harper with the kick, his third of the afternoon. And this one's going down near the goal line, and it's Donnell who drops it, so Wright picks it up. And he gets back to the 15, but there's a penalty flag drop. Good coverage by Pittsburgh. Return of 15. Nate Nix coming down.
During the return, illegal block in the back. Number 17 on the return team. Penalty is half the distance to the goal. First down.
That's Marcus Smith, number 17. True freshman from Columbus, Georgia. Big East Network brings you all the action next Saturday, November 6th. These Cardinals head to the Carrier Dome to take on the Syracuse Orange. All the action getting underway next Saturday, November 6th, noon Eastern, only on the Big East Network. And John, Syracuse 5-2, and they're headed to Cincinnati today. And didn't you give me an update just 2 seconds?
Yeah, I think it just changed. It's 17-0 now, Syracuse on top of Cincinnati. So I might have to call Doug Marrone and have that bologna and cheese sandwich with him after the game next week.
Marrone, the head coach at Syracuse, played for the Orange when John was quarterbacking Pittsburgh back in the mid-'80s. Now Froman quarterbacking his Cardinals inside the 5-yard line. And here's Powell, and he's all the way up to the 28-yard line. So Powell picks up 21 on the play. Dave Wanstead saying, you know what? He said Powell has more speed than people give him credit for. If he gets an open space, he's going to run away from it.
Well, you can't fall asleep on number 15 because he's got enough shake and bake on the inside to make you miss. He can run over you, he can run around you, but when he gets in the open field, he does have the speed to pull away. And the Panthers were lucky there. They were able to nullify a huge play on first down.
There's Powell, gets the call. He had 1,003 yards, 34 fewer carries, but he had more yards than Graham and Lewis had combined coming into the game. Picks up 3 more as we check in with Eamon.
Well, Mike, the Bilal Powell story is an amazing story of turning your life around. At the beginning of his high school career, he really was on the road to nowhere, running around with gangs. At one point, he was even stabbed. But during the summer, heading into his senior year, he spent the night at the running backs coach, Rusty Bullock, and almost overnight, he changed his life around. He stopped hanging out with the gangs, started practicing football, and now here he is, and he continues to talk to middle schoolers at Lake Gibson, Florida, just showing, look what I did with my life, you guys can do it with yours as well. So really an amazing story on and off the football field, Mike.
And Powell picks up 5 more on the play for the Cardinals. It really is an outstanding story, remarkable story. As a head coach said, it might be more incredible than the blind side.
Well, coming out of last season, and his single season high before this year was 392 yards. And coming into today's game, he was just over 1,000. And it's one of those situations, he's 4th in the country in rushing, 1st in the Big East Conference. He's done an excellent job. And right now his quarterback, Adam Froman, has to convert on 3rd down.
2 of 4 on 3rd down today. Froman fires. And that's number 27, Doug Beaumont. And penalty flag dropped as Dom DeSuco. Late flag, too, John, coming in as Beaumont couldn't quite stretch far enough.
Pass interference. 31 defense. Ball will be placed at the spot of the foul. 1st down.
So Dave Wanstead, as we talked about earlier, 55 penalties coming in, about 8 a game. And this one's going to give him a 1st down.
Well, there's the contact right there. It looked like DeSuco had his right hand all the way around the waist of the receiver, Doug Beaumont. And that's a good call. And Froman's excited. He's going, yeah, I saw it too. Throw a flag. It was a late flag, but it was well-deserved. And the Louisville Cardinal drive will continue at the 42-yard line. 2nd penalty on the Panthers. Not that time. Very quickly coming in is Greg Williams, the redshirt junior from Naples, Florida. Loss of 4 on the play. Well, he was in that backfield, John, just about the same time they were handing the football off to Powell. That was a guess on a snap count, and Greg Williams looked like he got that early jump on the outside. 32 tackles on the season, and that tackle for loss coming off the edge was his 1st of the year. Top side of your screen, nobody touches. Jeez. Greg Williams. He was the only one that knew where he was going. He had to be awfully close to being offside. He was in there so quickly. So 2nd and 14 for Froman. Throws quickly. Top of your screen, it's completed again. It's number 15, Powell. Another catch for Powell. They pick up 4. And so they're back to 10 yards away from moving the chains. And again, Greg Williams on the tackle, this time in space on the big running back Powell. 3rd and 10 for Louisville here, and you have to think that they've been getting the football quick out of the pocket. Pretty soon they're going to have to try to throw it up to their size on the outside. They've got Josh Chichester, who's 6'9" on the outside. You want to give him a chance to catch the football. Graham in motion. Froman looking in their direction, and it's going to be incomplete. This one was uncatchable. Intended receiver was Graham. That time on 3rd down, Mike, Louisville tried that rub pick play over the middle with Chichester trying to pick for his wide receiver Doug Beaumont, but Louisville unsuccessful, and Charlie Strong's team will punt the football back to the Panthers. 3 times the finalist for the Frank Broyles Award for the top assistant in the country, Charlie Strong. 27 years. An assistant coach, now his 1st year as the head coach of Louisville. Blazers punt. It takes another over bounce, and this one's going to go all the way down into the end zone. Sadler getting dangerously close to that football inside the 5. Thanks to the bounce, a 58-yard punt. Net 38. 6-3. Still no touchdown scored in this football game.
Want a better way to track what you spend? PNC Virtual Wallet now comes with Spending Zone. It organizes all your spending, including your PNC debit card, credit card, and your bills. So you can view them by category or by month. You can set a budget, and it'll even alert you when you're getting close to the amount you've set and when you've gone over. Spending Zone is built to help you keep better track of your spending. Experience everything Virtual Wallet has to offer at pncvirtualwallet.com. PNC, for the achiever in us all.
Hi, I'm Stormy Simon. At Overstock.com, we've designed our site to be easy to shop, and we have the low prices you want every day on name brand products up to 70% off. We care about our customers, and our award-winning customer care team is available whenever you need help. And remember, whether you shop online or on your mobile phone, your entire order ships for just $2.95. Overstock.com, at home with the O.
Game Time, the leader in licensed sports watches. The official watch of Ryan, Jenna, and Sean, and Mets fans everywhere. You'll always know when it's game time. Get yours at MLB.com.
Have you been to my website lately? You should really check it out. Go to JetersFordChallenge.com and find out why Ford's lineup is really turning people's heads. Enter to win some great prizes. You can even watch my latest Ford commercials, outtakes, and behind-the-scenes videos. And of course, you'll always find great deals like these from your Tri-State Ford dealers.
Now lease the new Ford Edge for just $229 a month at your Tri-State Ford dealer.
Get online today at JetersFordChallenge.com, then get to your Tri-State Ford dealer.
Beautiful day in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. 5:54 to go, 6-3. Both teams coming in, averaging 30 points a game. And, well, what a glorious day, huh? We'd like to recognize our friends at Allstate for their charitable contributions across the country. Since 2005, Allstate has donated more than $2.2 million through the Good Hands Field Goal Net program to benefit University General Scholarship Funds. Well, John Congemi, what do you think? It's 6-3, no touchdowns scored, and I was wondering if we're going to have a high-scoring affair or the defenses were going to step up here today.
I thought the defenses may stay in this game or keep both teams in this game, and the similarities have just been eerie coming into the game. Right now, Louisville and Pittsburgh both running 22 offensive plays. Louisville for 103 and Pitt for 86. So we've talked about the similarities in these teams on both sides of the football, and they're holding very true as we close into halftime.
Dion Lewis back in the backfield for Pittsburgh. Ray Graham on the last series. Chris Mike, the fullback. This is the second straight series he's been on the field too. We did that story on Henry Hanoski standing on the sidelines, and he hasn't been in since. Gain of 2. Malcolm Tatum makes the stop. Let's go down and check in with Eamon.
Yeah, Mike Hanoski now with a mild concussion, out for at least, especially the rest of the first half. Maybe the game they're going to check on it at halftime, but he certainly was not happy when he had to give his helmet to the training staff, and they told him he wasn't going back in. But right now he has a mild concussion.
Mike, that's a big loss.
Big loss. I was going to say just 12 carries, 17 receptions, but huge loss as far as his blocking ability. Well, they swing it out looking for Lewis, and good pressure that time. Coming in, Rodney Nats putting the pressure on the quarterbacks and Sari. Nat with 6.5 sacks. The senior from Jacksonville, Florida. You look at Pittsburgh and all the sacks they have, and Louisville also with a lot of sacks coming in. They have 20 sacks, just one less, but unlike Pittsburgh, they're really spread around.
Yeah, they have, and you can tell the discipline in defense, and Charlie Strong has brought to this football team his expertise on that defensive side, and they're not giving up the big play, and they're fitting the defense well. They're doing a good job, and right now the Panthers 2 of 6 on third downs.
Cincinnati fires over the middle, finds his man, the tight end Cruz. Mike Cruz, 2 touchdowns last week, picks up 14 in a first down. Daniel Brown, the sophomore from Atlanta, brings him down.
Well, Frank Cignetti, the offensive coordinator for the Panthers, said early in the season, Tino Sinceri's eyes just weren't right. He wasn't seeing everything. On this one, he was definite. That back foot hits the ground, and that ball's out in by coverage. That was thrown, caught over the middle. Good decision.
Our first and 10 line is brought to you by Overstock.com. Well, just over the 35-yard line, Lewis. And weave his way through some heavy traffic. Gets up close to the 40. He picks up 4 more on the play. So Dion Lewis, you know, it was interesting. He knows he's going to share duties with Ray Graham, and rightly so. Graham comes in averaging over 7 yards a carry. But Lewis this week admitting that it's a lot harder to get into a rhythm and be effective when you're sharing the load.
You would think it would be as many carries as he had last season. He was able to get that lather and maybe fight through maybe a quarter and a half not being productive because he knew he was going to get the football in the second half.
See the numbers, 9 carries now for Dion Lewis. Sinceri swings it out. Lewis all the way over the midfield stripe, and he's down inside Cardinal territory. Another first down, Pittsburgh. They pick up 11. Hakeem Smith, the redshirt freshman safety, brings him down.
Ray Graham's the one that's known for catching the football out of the backfield, but this time Dion Lewis does a spectacular job of keeping his balance on the outside and then reading his blocks of his wide receivers. That's a good job out in front by Mike Shanahan and Mike Cruz to get Dion Lewis a couple more yards down the field.
Lewis coming in with 17 catches. He's got 2 here this afternoon.
This might be a nice time to give Jonathan Baldwin an opportunity to go up and get the football again.
Play action, they're looking over Shanahan, 30, dropped at the 27-yard line. Bobby Burns drags him down from behind.
Another excellent throw by Sinceri over the middle to another big target on the outside, Mike Shanahan. This is a good play action fake to Lewis, and then a strike. You can see the perfect pass protection and a good throwing lane for Tino to step up into and throw a strike down the middle. The numbers on Sinceri today, 8 of 13 for 78 yards, and he's working on a touchdown.
Picked up 22 on that play to Shanahan. Lewis inside the 15-yard line, dropped at about the 17. Johnny Patrick coming up from the cornerback spot to make the tackle.
Again, Mike, this is the area of the field where now the Louisville defense has done a nice job of keeping the Panthers out of the end zone. So the Panthers have to find a way to break through against this stingy defense. The coordinator, Vance Bedford, on the sidelines trying to figure out how to keep the Panthers out of the end zone.
Dion Lewis saying it's no secret Tino's success has helped that running game for Pittsburgh as they go deeper in the season. Out of the I formation this time. Sinceri finds his man. It's Baldwin. He's at the 15-yard line. That's going to be another first down, Pittsburgh. 8 more. Holton and Smith, the 2 safeties, making the stop.
Frank Cignetti, the offensive coordinator for the Panthers, explained to us yesterday when they put Sinceri out on the edge, on the naked, and he comes out clean, he has an option to look down the field first to try to make a big play, or he could check it down to the fullback or the crossing route. That time, Baldwin on the late crosser gets the first down and the reception.
Well, that play action where Sinceri rolls out last week and this week, they do it very, very well because Sinceri, 9 times out of 10, has plenty of time to check downfield for his receivers. They keep it on the ground. Lewis hits the middle of the line. Shy of the 10-yard line, picks up 3 more. And they'll bring up a 2nd and 7. They get a first down near the 4-yard line.
Well, this is last week the situation where Mike Cruz, the tight end for the Panthers, made all of his gravy down here inside the 15 or the 10-yard line on those corner routes. I'm sure that Louisville saw that on film, but defenses really tend to lose the tight end in the situations down by the goal line. The Panthers will spread it out, though, on 2nd down.
Now Cruz comes off the field. There he is right there on the sidelines now. He had 2 touchdown receptions. Should have had 3. Sinceri's hit his last 4 passes. Wow. Looked like a lot of traffic, but it was actually Devin Street trying to make the block over there, and he actually pushed Lewis out of the way.
That's a great play by Akeem Smith, the strong safety. He's going to come up and just throw the block, or the would-be block of Devin Street right into the lap of Dion Lewis. That's just a good defensive play by the Cardinals' strong safety.
Devin Street stood up. He wasn't quite sure what happened.
Well, Smith knew where he was going. I can tell you that, Mike.
So now Sinceri facing a 3rd down and 7. Inside a minute before halftime, still looking for the first touchdown over the middle, and it's knocked away. The intended receiver was Shanahan. And it was knocked away in the back of the end zone. A good play that time by Darius Ashley, the sophomore cornerback.
And again, great protection, but a better job by the Louisville defense of coming up on a set of downs where the Panthers trying to get into the end zone before halftime. That's just a good defensive stand by the Louisville Cardinals.
So it's time to bring on the kicker again, Dan Hutchins. He's been good from 26 and 42. This one from 28 yards. Wow. This one wasn't even close as he hooked that one to the left, and Charlie Strong says, all right, that's we don't believe in moral victories, but there's a victory in that battle right there.
That's a momentum changer with only 41 seconds left to go before halftime. If you're the Panthers, you think you're going to be able to get in with a 9-3 lead. And now the defense makes another stand inside the 10-yard line. And you have to feel good if you're wearing white right now. And this never had a chance. It was dead left the whole way.
So Charlie Strong. All right, he puts his offensive team back on the field. There's Vance Bedford, the defensive coordinator. Coming up in the second half, I want to talk about this staff at Louisville. Charlie Strong really put together a nice staff, but now 41 seconds to go. Froman will work out of the shotgun, and they keep it on the ground. And Powell still on his feet over the 30-yard line, dropped at about the 34. Alexi brings him down, a gain of 14 for Powell. Slow start for Powell, but he's the kind of guy that you don't want to let him build some momentum.
Just keep giving him the football, because in this type of game with a low-scoring game, it may come down to a one-score game at the end.
Froman looks, fires, and a lot of banging. Ricky Gary looked like he was tied up big time over Josh Bellamy. And coming up at halftime, John Congemi sits down with Dion Lewis during Congemi's corner. We'll take a look at Pitt's rush offense in our Big East breakdown. And, of course, we'll have the first half highlights and stats. Some good plays, no touchdowns. Both teams coming in with 25 touchdowns. Both teams with 12 touchdown passes. And right now we've seen 3 field goals so far in the first 30 minutes. Froman's going down, and it's a good thing. The offensive lineman there, I think it was Ryan Kessling, the junior, jumped on it, number 75. That's the first sack and the 22nd sack now on the season for Pittsburgh, and that's going to be the final play of the first half. Jabal Sheard gets credit. Big number 97 picks up his 8th sack, so he and Brandon Lindsay now each with 8 on the year. And John Congemi, Greg Romeus won the Defensive Player of the Year with 8 sacks last year in the Big East.
Yeah, Brandon Lindsay and Sheard share that, Shaq. That was a good job of pressuring the pocket by the Panthers.
6-3, Pittsburgh on top by a field goal, and Dave Wanstead standing by with Eamon.
All right, Coach, you've had to settle for some field goals. What adjustments do you have to make to sustain those drives?
Well, we have to, we got to finish the drives, really. You know, I mean, we had some opportunities down in there, and we got to get touchdowns. I mean, this isn't anything different than what we expected. I mean, we knew that they would play well. They're a good football team, and we've got to finish drives. So.
All right, Coach, thanks a lot. Good luck in the second half. Mike?
Well, I'm in 3 12-play drives for Dave Wanstead's Panthers. And last week, John Congemi said if we just stick to the plan, we're going to be okay. They came out and blew Rutgers off in the second half. What do we see in the second half with Pittsburgh?
Well, a little bit more of the same. I just think that Coach Wanstead's correct. They just have to finish where they started. They've been able to move the football. They need to find a way to make a play to get into the end zone. And I wouldn't doubt that sincerely. They're playing a lot of man coverage. Louisville is in that plus territory. You may see him run the football in that situation again.
Well, both teams averaging about 30 points a game, and we've seen 3 field goals, 6-3. It's time now for our Big East halftime report.
Poverty is not an excuse. Religion is not an excuse. If you have the motivation and the drive and the curiosity, you can make your dreams happen. You can do it. Here in Louisville, there are people waiting to help you. If you don't make any excuses for yourself and you jump out and you put yourself in the middle of that environment, there are channels, there are people to help you, and they can take you to the top.
Want a better way to track what you spend? PNC Virtual Wallet now comes with Spending Zone. It organizes all your spending, including your PNC debit card, credit card, and your bills. So you can view them by category or by month. You can set a budget, and it'll even alert you when you're getting close to the amount you've set and when you've gone over. Spending Zone is built to help you keep better track of your spending. Experience everything Virtual Wallet has to offer at pncvirtualwallet.com. PNC, for the achiever in us all.
Every year, we travel to Baudette, Minnesota to see how our luxury vehicles equipped with Acura's exclusive super handling all-wheel drive perform under the most brutal, punishing conditions. If your winters are tougher than this, you don't need a new car. You need a new place to live.
Take advantage of attractive lease rates on the 2011 Acura MDX for well-qualified customers.
Doc, I just got your email. I'm out for the season?
Don't worry about that.
I switched to Sprint's $69.99 plan, so I get unlimited emails.
What does that mean?
It means I'm dropping you for my fantasy team, that's for sure.
What does that mean about my knee?
Oh, your knee's totally shattered. You see how hard that guy hit you?
I don't want to see...
Hey, relax. Not costing me any extra.
Only Sprint gives you unlimited text, web, and calling to any mobile for just $69.99. Sprint, the Now Network.
No matter what the weather's like outside, it's always like summer at Harrah's Resort Atlantic City. Relax as you and your friends enjoy cocktails at our poolside paradise. Or get your thrills playing the tables, from poker to blackjack. And then dance all night in the Pool After Dark, the East Coast's hottest nightclub. So ignore the forecast. Getaways are always in style at Harrah's Resort Atlantic City. Grab your friends and register now for interactive cooking classes at the Viking Cooking School.
Sprint halftime show. 6-3 Pitt over Louisville at the half. Jonas Schwartz alongside Don McPherson and Roman Oben. It's been an interesting first half in the sense of, well, not a lot has happened. Yeah,
interesting.
It's interesting in that it's been sort of uninteresting. I mean, what is it? Is it good defenses or bad offenses here? What's going on?
I think it's two teams that come in with a big-time running game. They want to rely on that running game, but that really hasn't happened. I think the defense have really shut down the run game, and the pass game hasn't been there to open things up.
Yeah, I think both defenses really stepped up today. I think during the week, the emphasis has been who's going to stop the running game. And because offensively, both teams, like you said, Don, have good running attacks. But when you see this field goal fiasco is what I call it, I think as an offensive fan, I mean, we like to see scores, right? But, hopefully they're going to continue to do something in the second half to get the teams going.
That is the thing about it. We can sit here and yawn and say this is a boring game, but defensively, this is a well-played game. Right now, you have two of the teams that are coming in with the top running attacks, arguably in college football. You have three great runners here, and they've both been shut down completely.
Well, the other end of it, though, some might say is there have been some long drives by Pitt as we take a look at some of the defensive plays. The teams seem like they've been able to move the ball to some degree. They just can't finish their drives, as we just heard Dave Wanstead talk to Eamon about.
Yeah, you're right. And I think what you have to do is you have to continue to go with the plays that you worked on during the week and the plays that you've been calling during the game, because somewhere along the way, these plays are going to work.
How about Bilal Powell? Obviously, Louisville, he's done well so far. 9 carries, 51 yards, averaging 5.7 yards per carry. They need more out of him, though.
Yeah, I thought Adam Froman mixed up the run and pass in the first couple of series for Louisville, and that opened things up for Bilal Powell. He's getting into the secondary, and that's a credit to the offensive line, getting him past that first level. But this kid is everything he's built to be. He's got great balance, great speed, and great power.
Yeah, great power. He has a home run in him. I mean, 6 runs of 50 or more yards during the season. Obviously, the 80-yarder Kentucky, Cincinnati 85-yard run. You know that he's going to have that 50-yarder run today. You just have to continue to go to the game plan that they've formulated this week.
All right, when the Sprint halftime show returns, we will check in on the only other Big East game today. Syracuse looking for a third straight Big East road win. A possible crack at the top 25. Plus, we'll hear from Randy Edsall, whose Huskies pulled up a thriller last night at the Rent. All the highlights coming up when the Sprint halftime show returns. Of course, Pitt leading Louisville 6-3. Roman, very, very into this game. But there's one thing to look for in the second half. The past couple of weeks, I mean, look at the Pitt's numbers in the second half of these games against Syracuse and Rutgers. They have pulled away. Take me into the locker room. What's going on at halftime that is changing these games for Pitt in the second half?
There's no way you can look at those numbers and not think that the coaching staff is doing a tremendous job of getting the guys ready in the locker room at halftime to say, here's where the opportunities are. And I think coaches do that all the time. They say, here's where the opportunities are. But to get the guys to buy into it and then go execute is a big task. And Pittsburgh has done an outstanding job. When you look at those numbers in the second half, it's just phenomenal what they've been able to accomplish with a little bit of game planning.
Yeah, you go back to the first half. I saw a quick screen that was thrown in 2nd and 7. I wouldn't have called that play, but you look at a possession that Baldwin had that was questionable. He looked like his feet were in bounds, but in the second half, you want to see more of consistency with Baldwin. You want to see, obviously, Sinceri, continue to throw the ball well. And you definitely have to talk about what Ray Graham, here's a pass right here, but you have to talk about Ray Graham. He might be the factor in the second half.
Well, you see that play right there from Baldwin that Roman, you were mentioning. That kind of play always seems to get this offense going. I'm surprised to see they have not thrown the ball, more jump balls up for Baldwin or even Shanahan.
You know, Sincere really has not been that accurate throwing the ball deep all year long, but he has thrown it deep. And last week against Rutgers, that's what they did to really loosen up and open up that offensive attack. I think what Tino Sincere needs to do is just this right here. Dump the ball to your backs, get it in their hands quicker, let them make plays, and then throw the intermediate passes. Those 8-10 yards to your tight end Shannon. Those 8 to 10, 20-yard passes, intermediate passes like right there. Let your tight ends, let your wide receivers and your running backs do the work for you. Make good decisions and keep the ball moving. Get into a 2-minute style tempo with this offense.
Yeah, you have to get Ray Graham involved. He's got to be the equalizer in the second half for Pittsburgh's offense.
Louisville, of course, Bilal Powell. We will keep an eye on it without a question for it. Can Louisville stem the tide and keep Pitt from running away in the second half as they've done the past couple of weeks? We will find out. That'll do it for us on the Sprint Halftime Show. For Roman Obin, Don McPherson, I am Jonas Schwartz. Let's get you back out to Heinz Field for the second half of action. Pitt and Louisville coming up right now.
Back inside Heinz Field, the last 2 games for the Pitt Panthers, they're averaging 43 points and 458 yards. Right now, they're on top by a field goal, 6-3 over the Louisville Cardinals. And before we kick it off, let's check in with Eamon McEnany.
Well, Mike, I had a chance to catch up with Coach Charlie Strong on his way back onto the field, and he's very pleased with his team's defensive efforts. As you mentioned, Pittsburgh averaging 43 points the last 2 games, so keeping them to 6. But he also said, hey, look, if we want to win this game, we have to continue to play great defense because right now our offense is not converting third downs. He told me that was the key. We have to convert third downs. We cannot stall ourselves offensively, Mike. Basically, he said we need to keep our offense on the field for the second half if we want to win on the road.
You know, Eamon, talking about Charlie Strong, they lost to Kentucky 23-16, Oregon State 35-28, Cincinnati 35-27. But, John, Coach Strong doesn't want to hear how close those games are.
Yeah, he told us during the week you can't look at it as encouraging when you lose. A loss is a loss, and you have to go win football games, and that's what they want to do in the second half. And I think a key for Charlie is maybe not to get into third down. If they can be more productive on first and second down, they won't be in that situation because they're 2 for 5 on third downs in the first half. So you want to be able to be more productive on first down.
Chris Philpott, there's the kick in the second half is underway after a short kick. That's Ray Graham at the 15-yard line. Graham dancing at about the 25, and he's going to get to about the 28 before he's dragged down. A return of 12 as you look at the drives for the Panthers in the first half, 12, 12, and 12.
Anytime you take the play for 10-plus plays on a drive, you want to come away with points. And I know that last 12-play, 69-yard drive was disappointing and discouraging for the Panthers because they go into the locker room. You would think they'd have a 9-3 lead now and only a field goal lead coming out to start the third quarter. Now the importance of moving down in this first drive, you know, the microscope's on them now. They want to come down and maybe get a quick play scoring drive on this third quarter.
Chris Mike, the redshirt sophomore fullback in motion, and they're going to keep it on the ground. No, it's play action. Sincere, good fake, and real miscommunication. Looking for Shanahan. Shanahan was heading down the sidelines, and the ball was about 10 yards behind him.
Well, just a 2-receiver route to open up the third quarter for head coach Dave Wannstedt. He had his big receivers, John Baldwin and Mike Shanahan, going down the sidelines. Looked like Tino thought they weren't even and he wasn't going to leave, and he wanted to stop him with that throw on the Louisville bench. But now 2nd and 10 against a defense that I thought played pretty well in that first half.
Panthers coming off a 513-yard game against Rutgers, their first 500-yard game since 2006. And right now they go back into the bag of tricks, and this is Baldwin. Boy, he puts his head down, and he was hit hard. That's Johnny Patrick coming up to make the stop. They pick up 5.
Well, this play had the potential to be a big play, and this is a good call by Frank Cignetti, but you can't help missing blocks on the perimeter. It looked like Alex Caravan ran right by the would-be tackler Johnny Patrick, and then Johnny Patrick makes a big play. So you go from a situation on second down where you thought you might have had an easy first down by Baldwin going to the outside. You miss a block on the perimeter. Now, I know it's tough for those offensive linemen when they get into space and trying to block those little guys on the edge. It's tough to catch them, and you want to just get a piece of them because just a piece is usually enough.
Just throw your body on top of them.
That's
300 pounds.
I was talking with a former teammate of mine earlier before the game, and Bill Fralick, the All-American from Pitt, and he was one of those guys, they would just run to the sidelines when they saw him get out on the edge.
He still looks like an All-American.
Yeah.
Eamon and I saw him in the hotel lobby, and we said, boy, I think if I ever got in a scuffle with him, I'd turn and just run the other way.
Yeah, I think Bill's quote to me yesterday was, I think I could play maybe a quarter, and then I'd give up.
I don't know. Looks like he could play about a half. 3rd and 5 now. First possession of the second half for the Pitt Panthers. Here comes the rush. The pass is complete. Shanahan. And forward progress will give him the first down. Hakeem Smith makes the tackle. They pick up 7 on the play. So Mike Shanahan, the redshirt sophomore from North Huntington, Pennsylvania. 3 catches, 53 yards a week ago against Rutgers. It's going to be interesting to see if number 82, Baldwin, returns next year. And look at the athletic prowess that he has. Sinceri, well, there's one time, I think that was a broken play, not necessarily that play action where he rolls to the right. B.J. Butler runs him out. Miscommunication there, John?
Yeah, I think so. It was one of those that wanted to go up the middle in a handoff to Ray Graham, but some communication problems in that backfield. And Sinceri, that's another indication of a quarterback just growing. He didn't make a bad play worse. He went out, tried to get some yardage, picked up a yard on the play, so now you're in 2nd and 9 instead of maybe taking a sack and trying to make something where there was nothing there.
Yeah, the first half, I was mentioning Frank Signetti from that Utah game to this game. Probably they were infants, and now they're teenagers. That's quite a jump. Sinceri going down the middle, going deep, looking for 82. And it's a great defensive play by Johnny Patrick. Just got his hand up there to knock it down. The senior from DeLand, Florida. Well, the big play guys making big plays last week and looking for the big play that time.
Well, that was a good job of going up on that play, but last week he made a couple of spectacular plays. This one here, he just goes down the field with one hand and secures the football. Again, he's going to make another corner route with a one-handed catch in between 2 Rutgers defenders. And this was the big one for 6 points. He just camped out and played basketball down in the paint. He got his body in position and went up and caught the football.
The experts have him at number 3 as far as coming up the draft board. And boy, Sinceri should have went down, avoids the rush, and he's going to make a first down out of nothing.
We talked about maybe Sinceri making some plays with his legs in the second half before halftime, and we talked about his dad, Sal Sinceri, being an All-American at Pitt, but that was more like his mom, Roxanne. She was a gymnast at Pitt and a state champion gymnast, and he showed some quick feet on the outside, doing a good job of keeping the play alive and moving the chains for the Panthers. That's a big-time play in this series for the Panthers.
Picked up 12 on the play. And I mentioned Baldwin, number 3, the number 3 wide receiver on the draft board, I should say. And they keep it on the ground. And they move the pile. They picked up 3 or 4 more. B.J. Butler makes the stop. And Dion Lewis, the ball carrier for Pittsburgh. I'll check that. They only picked up 2 on the play. The pile might have moved, but the spot was put down at the field at about 43 yards. Lewis stays in the game. Lewis, 17 carries, 130 yards, and a touchdown last week. He dots the I behind Chris Mike. Picked up 2 more on that carry.
Well, Mike, we talk about the big play potential in this Pitt offense, but Henry Hanoski's not been seen in this second half. He's still on the bench without his helmet. So Chris Mike's into this football game. And, you know, when you're a running back in this offensive line, you need that continuity between your fullback and where he's going to lead that tailback into that hole. And I know that Dion Lewis relies heavily on the blocking at number 27.
Well, that's going to be painful for Hanoski. Just loves the game of football and sitting and watching with his team with a narrow 3-point lead. Sinceri fires. Cruz, the tight end, inside the 30-yard line. Boy, the threat of the needle that time. Bobby Burns and Shenard Holton defending, but they pick up 14.
Boy, nice concentration on the outside by Mike Cruz, because 2 Panther receivers running about 5 yards from each other, and Cruz had concentration on the football. And this is another good throw by Sinceri, good timing throw by Sinceri, and better concentration by his tight end.
Graham gets the call. He's inside. Still on his feet. Looking, and the ball comes loose. I believe it was after the whistle. And sometimes, well, when you're looking for that extra yard, sometimes it can really come back and haunt you.
Last week there was a situation on the Pitt sidelines where Ray Graham looked like he was going to make a spectacular play, goes for about 20 plus yards, and then the ball gets punched out at the end. And here again, he's just trying to churn for another yard or two. Sometimes it's just best to go down on the ground. You've got all you can out of that play.
Yeah, B.J. Butler had him wrapped up. He wasn't going anywhere, that's for sure. Graham stays in behind Sinceri, gets the call. 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown, Pittsburgh. 21 yards, first touchdown of the afternoon.
Mike, we've talked about the explosiveness in this Pitt backfield with the 1-2 punch of Graham and Lewis. This time Graham makes a defender miss right at the point of attack. Greg Scruggs is in the backfield in perfect position to make a play, but the speed and strength of Ray Graham breaks the tackle, and he goes in for 6 points.
That's his 7th rushing touchdown this year. Hutchins drills his first extra point. He's perfect on the year. So it wasn't a 12-play drive, but at least they get the touchdown, John.
It was pretty close. 11 plays, 71 yards, taking 5:21 off the clock. The shake and bake by Ray Graham gets the Panthers a 13-3 lead.
Credit card rewards are always good in theory.
Sometimes I would get rewards, sometimes I wouldn't.
There's one card I had, there were all these rules and restrictions.
And limits.
Forget about it.
But I love this card.
Bank AmeriCard Cash Rewards Credit Card.
1% cash back on everything I buy, period.
No limit to the amount of cash back I can get.
No hoops to jump through.
Simple.
The refreshingly simple Bank AmeriCard Cash Rewards Credit Card. Apply online or at a Bank of America near you.
Polaris is having a factory-authorized clearance, which means you can get financing as low as 3.99% and up to $1,200 in rebates on vehicles like the Ranger Razor or the Sportsman XP or the Ranger XP. That's financing as low as 3.99% and up to $1,200 in rebates. Hey, it's all about the deal. That's all you need to know, right? All deal, no hype. The Polaris factory-authorized clearance. Going on now.
You're at the age where you don't get thrown by curveballs. This is the age of knowing how to get things done. So, why would you let something like erectile dysfunction get in your way? Isn't it time you talk to your doctor about Viagra? 20 million men already have. With every age comes responsibility. Ask your doctor if your heart is healthy enough for sex. Do not take Viagra if you take nitrates for chest pain, as it may cause an unsafe drop in blood pressure. Side effects may include headache, flushing, upset stomach, and abnormal vision. To avoid long-term injury, seek immediate medical help for an erection lasting more than 4 hours. Stop taking Viagra and call your doctor right away if you experience a sudden decrease or loss in vision or hearing. This is the age of taking action. Viagra. Talk to your doctor. See if America's most prescribed ED treatment is right for you.
I don't like commitment, that's what it is. No contracts when you sign up for Vonage sounds amazing.
I didn't know that you could have all these features and this incredible plan without a contract. Tell me more, let me switch.
For just $14.99, get unlimited domestic and international calling, now without an annual contract.
I have some really good friends who live in Switzerland, and I call them quite a bit now.
It's really nice being able to keep our phone conversations longer.
It's a great feeling.
I switched to Vonage, and I'm never looking back.
Welcome back to the Big East Network Game of the Week, presented by PNC. Climbing the mountain. 13-3, 26 touchdown, John, for Pittsburgh, but they waited a long time to get into the end zone.
11 plays, 71 yards, all 4 drives today, 11-plus plays, and the situation where Ray Graham goes 21 yards, that was the longest run from scrimmage for the Panthers all afternoon, and Sinceri had it with 13 yards, but Ray Graham does a nice job of making somebody miss in the backfield, and that was Greg Scruggs, the defensive tackle for Louisville. Now Louisville challenged with the fact that they have to get back, and they've had no problems moving the football today in between the 20s, but both teams have had trouble getting it in the end zone. Pittsburgh found a way to get it in the end zone, and now Louisville has to answer.
Harper ready to kick it off for the Pitt Panthers. This is Wright, Jeremy Wright. He bobbles the ball, and he's out of the end zone, so he's got to go. He stepped into the land of no return. Penalty flag was dropped, as he was, after an 8-yard return. Joe Trebetz, the backup linebacker, coming up to make the stop on the kickoff coverage team.
During the return, holding number 11 on the return team. Penalty is half the distance to the goal. First down.
Let's take a look now at Ray Graham's touchdown, brought to you by Wendy's in real time.
Ray Graham, no hesitation, just takes it and makes somebody miss at the point of attack. Good blocking in the secondary. There's the miss right there in the offensive backfield. One shake move on the outside on Bobby Burns. And Ray is in the end zone. Just a strong runner in between the tackles. And he's got the speed to finish the run.
So now the Louisville Cardinals are backed up inside their 5-yard line after the penalty. Powell tries to get some breathing room, breaks to the outside, picks up a few. Don DeSico runs him out. Bilal Powell, according to Charlie Strong, the face of the program. This is really amazing considering the fact Eamon told us where he came from, of course. And you talked about the first half. What his averages were for the first 3 years really didn't do a whole lot at Louisville. Victor Anderson was the 2008 Big East Rookie of the Year. But Charlie Strong certainly struck a nerve with this young man as he leads the Big East in rushing. Got some running room here, cuts it back over the 15, and he's going to put a first down and some breathing room. Jared Holley, and now he looks like he's in pain. That is a tough blow there for Louisville.
He may have gotten a helmet right on that right knee as he was trying to hurdle Holley in the Pitt secondary. Just a nice hole off the right side, and Powell, no hesitation. He's going downhill, but right here, maybe the arm tackle, and maybe he grabbed that foot that aggravated his knee. Let's take a look again at 18 in blue. He's going to grab that leg. He gets the shoulder right on the knee.
Jeez, let's hope he's okay.
Yeah.
So Powell's down. He's the only running back from the FBS to have 3 runs of 70 yards or more. We'll be back at Heinz Field after this.
I'm his son. And as you well know, I can barely focus on one thing at a time. So between mowing the lawn and football, I choose football. Sorry, Robert. $5 doesn't buy my undivided attention. And if you've got cut rate insurance, you might end up with a financial buzz cut. So get Allstate. You can save money and be better protected from mayhem. Like me.
Dollar for dollar, nobody protects your home, car, and boat like Allstate.
Let's throw on those Saturday clothes. It's doing season. When we grab a little spare time and get after it. We're lowering the cost of weekend projects, making things happen. Less with our wallets and more with our own 2 hands. More saving, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot. Get this American Standard 4-inch Symphony faucet for the new lower price of just $68.
I think everybody's interested in saving money. It's just making yourself do it. Sometimes we're just complacent.
Because we're afraid of change.
The fact that Vonage does not require an annual contract, I'm definitely going to make the switch.
No contracts with Vonage sounds like how business should be done.
What more can you ask for?
For just $14.99, get unlimited domestic and international calling, now without an annual contract.
Now I can talk however long I want.
My mom wants me to call her every day.
The sound is terrific. It's like they're next door.
I switched to Vonage, and I'm never looking back.
what you call the greatest day of your life.
I'll be right back.
We call Tuesday. Caesars Atlantic City, routinely spectacular.
Back in Pittsburgh, the good news, John Congemi, just moments ago, Bilal Powell stood up and walked off the field.
Yeah, the great news for the Louisville Cardinals and their fans, because this guy was the one who's going to carry him to a victory today, running the football, and he's now with the trainers on the sidelines. And let's hope that injury is just maybe a deep bruise or something of that nature, because he's had a terrific season. You'd hate to see it come to an end with a knee injury right here in the third quarter in Pittsburgh.
Powell, 4 consecutive 100-yard rushing games, leaves with 11 carries, 64 yards, and we're going to go with the redshirt freshman from Florida, Jeremy Wright, comes into the backfield now with Adam Froman. Wright gets the call. No, good play action, didn't get the call, and Froman keeps the football. Brandon Lindsay takes him down. They pick up 5. Another look at Powell going down with the hit on the knee.
Mike, it almost looked like a harmless play. He was just trying to sidestep the tackle of Jared Hawley, but Hawley's right shoulder gets into the right leg, the lower right leg of Powell, and immediately you could see him grab that right knee in pain. And it was a situation where he's now on the sidelines. They're trying to make sure that he's going to be able to continue this season.
This is Dominique Brown out of Cincinnati, big-time quarterback recruit. Number 1 quarterback prospect in the Buckeye State. Turned down overtures from Ohio State, Cincinnati, and Georgia Tech to go to Louisville. Picks up 4. Charlie Strong taking a look at a star player whom he calls the face of the program, Bilal Powell. Mentioned 4 consecutive 100-yard games. The record has stood since 1988. That's just 5. Deion Booker set that. And the big challenge for Powell coming in against Pittsburgh was the Panthers had not given up a 100-yard rushing game to a runner this year. 3rd and 1. Dominique Brown stays in with that Wildcat, and looks like he's going to have enough for the first down. Picked up 2. Other scores in the Big East Conference, Cincinnati at home and Syracuse. We're going to have those guys in the Dome again. Boy, Syracuse 24-7 in the third.
Unbelievable. And we talked about the quarterback change in Cincinnati, but Syracuse putting up 24 points on the Bearcat defense, and that would be a huge win. Another huge win for Syracuse.
Froman, the senior from Santa Rosa, 6 straight games with a touchdown pass. 9 in the last 4 games. Still looking for that first touchdown. And they keep it on the ground up over the 35-yard line. Blaine Donnell, number 45, the senior from Louisville, Kentucky. Gains of 8 on the play. So we head up to the Carrier Dome next week in the Big East Network Game of the Week. Doug Marrone and the Syracuse Orange, if they hold on and win that game, they'll be 6-2. He said way back in August, they got to 7-5. They got to go to a bowl game. So it'll be Louisville in the Dome against Syracuse next Saturday at noon Eastern here on the Big East Network Game of the Week. Donnell gets the call again. Donnell out of Trinity High School.
Against Donnell on the carry.
Gain of 1. Alexi makes the stop for Pittsburgh and Syracuse. 2-1 in the Big East if they hold on and beat Cincinnati. 3-1. Boy, what a start.
Yeah, and the big thing is their defense. We talked about the points they're scoring, but in their 5 wins, they've held each opponent under 14 points. And this is a team that has confidence, just as Louisville has confidence now, Mike. Today coming into Pittsburgh, this is a team that's been down for a few years, but they're finding ways to make plays and win football games.
3rd and short for Froman and company. Right at the line of scrimmage, number 97, Jabal Sheard, was the first to make contact. You know, Phil Bennett saying it was comical last week against Rutgers. He was double and triple teamed. A lot of pads popping down there.
That was a big-time hit and a big-time play, but enough toughness in the run to move the chains. But Sheard on the season, just where he ranks on the season, he's done a spectacular job, you know, just playing his role with Romeus out of this defense. He's become the playmaker on defense.
Greg Romeus had thought he might return this week. I'll give it one more week to get that back ready to go. The doctor has cleared him as Froman goes downfield looking for Smith at about the 41-yard line. Antoine Reed in coverage for Pittsburgh. But again, a couple of seconds ago, John, I mentioned the fact that Phil Bennett said it was actually comical. Number 97, Jabal Sheard, was just shaking people off. Double and triple team sometime against Rutgers.
Well, you have to do that because he's such a dominant force on that line of scrimmage, and he creates problems in the run game. He creates problem rushing the quarterback. And until Greg Romeus, as you see there on the sidelines in street clothes, until he's able to go to the other side, that big number 97 is going to get chipped, and he's going to get those double and triple teams every week.
Froman turns, fires, finds his man, and it's complete. That's Jeremy Wright, the redshirt freshman running back, picks up 10 on the play. They move the chains. Jason Hendricks, the redshirt freshman safety from Brooklyn, makes the stop.
Louisville doing exactly what they need to do as a team offensively. They're moving the football without their star runner, Powell. Bilal Powell out of the game with that knee injury now, but everybody's taking a part in this offense. The quarterback's doing a good job. Dominic Brown's coming in to run the Wildcat. Everybody's doing their part on offense.
Brown back on the field now. True freshman from Cincinnati. And he gets back to the line of scrimmage. Maybe he picks up one on the play. He had 64 rushing touchdowns in high school and led Winton Woods to their first ever state championship. Hargrove and Perigee makes the stop. You know, you mentioned Greg Romeus. They told us he went from 275 to 260, standing around, getting healthy. What's wrong with that picture? If we were stood around getting healthy, we'd go from 260 to 275. It's the opposite way.
Oh, on a good week or two, right? Yeah, we might go a little higher than that, but Romeus, his goal now is to put on some of that weight and get back into playing shape.
Brown with the carry again, almost broke one.
Brown on the keeper out of the Wildcat.
Dom DeSico came up to make the stop. Brown picks up 4.
31, Dom DeSico.
Well, now a big third down situation again for the Cardinals on offense. They have to find a way to make a play. Adam Froman's done a nice job for Charlie Strong's offense to get them in position to make plays. The Cardinals are 4 of 7 on third down so far this afternoon to keep this drive alive and keep that momentum on their side.
Blaine Donnell in that pistol right behind the quarterback. Froman finds his man, Smith inside the 40, and it's another first down for Louisville, dragged down by Jared Hawley, but Andrell Smith picks up 9 and the first down. Eamon, what's up down there?
I got an update on Bilal Powell. The knee is stable. He is hurt. He took a shot there, but they put a sleeve on it on his right knee, and now he's testing it out on the bike. So they're going to look to see if he can get back out there. But no, it doesn't look like there's any ligament damage. His knee is stable, but they're going to see if he can go back out on the field in this one.
All right, thanks a lot, Eamon. That's certainly a runner, a player, the face of the program they need on the field. The Cardinals moving the chains, another first down. Down by 10. They're down to 2:36 to go in the third quarter. Wright, well, he has nowhere to go. Brandon Lindsay says, hey, if Jabal Sheard's going to get in on some of the action, I got to get on the action.
Might as well. He came into the game with 10 tackles for a loss. Add another one to that ledger. And this is the guy that has replaced Greg Romeus on that Pitt defense. He's done an excellent job of getting his numbers. 8 sacks on the year. He came in when we talked about the numerous tackles for loss. He's had pressures on the quarterback, 2 forced fumbles. He's done everything in his power to hold up the ledger of big number 91 on the outside and Greg Romeus, and he's done a good job filling in.
Well, John, the 15th play of the drive now started way back at the 4-yard line. This is Beaumont. Beaumont looking for some running room, finds some, gets inside the 35-yard line. And Max Gruder, the middle linebacker, are making the stop. Gruder still leads this team in tackles. Of course, a former outside linebacker. Phil Bennett saying he still wants more from that middle linebacker spot.
And he has to. That's a position you need to be productive in. You need to be around the football. If those interior linemen are going to give you chances, you have to make plays in space like on Doug Beaumont. Beaumont's a tough guy to tackle in space. So Phil Bennett, the defensive coordinator to our left there, he wants more out of his defense, and especially that middle linebacker.
It's Jeff Hafley right to the left of Bennett. You're right, watching the TV screen. 97. Jabal Sheard set it up. Carrigan goes 55 yards the other way.
Bill Bennett very calm in that coach's box, just blowing bubbles, but he's got smart players on the field, and number 97, Jabal Sheard, knew he wanted to go strip the football from the quarterback. It was exposed, and now it's a race down the sidelines. Miles Carrigan almost getting into the end zone, tackled by Graham from behind the tight end, but the Panthers defense turns offensive and puts the offense inside the 10 at the 5-yard line.
Lewis in the backfield. Lewis gets the call, but the Cardinals are up to the task. Brandon Heath coming in from that linebacker spot, the senior from West Palm Beach, and the leader of that defense.
Yeah, and Holton from the secondary as well. He was in that backfield. Great job on first down by the Cardinals defense. I think the Panthers are going to have to go play action here on second down. Maybe look for that tight end in the corner of the end zone again, because Louisville very stout against the run.
Inside 20 seconds, quarter number 3. Dion Lewis had a touchdown last week. Ray Graham has a 21-yard touchdown today. Picks up 5 on the play. And that's going to be the last play of the third quarter now. And we're going to head down the other side. 15 minutes to go. Pittsburgh up by 10, knocking on the door after the big defensive play. Set up by numbers 97, Jabal Sheard. Second sack, so now he has 9. One more than Lindsey. 13-3, fourth quarter from Heinz Field. Coming up on the other side.
I don't like commitment. That's what it is. No contracts when you sign up for Vonage sounds amazing.
I didn't know that you could have all these features and this incredible plan without a contract. Tell me more, let me switch.
For just $14.99, get unlimited domestic and international calling now without an annual contract.
I have some really good friends who live in Switzerland, and I call them quite a bit now.
It's really nice being able to keep our phone conversations longer.
It's a great feeling.
I switched to Vonage, and I'm never looking back.
Hi, I'm Stormy Simon. At Overstock.com, we've designed our site to be easy to shop, and we have the low prices you want every day on name brand products up to 70% off. We care about our customers, and our award-winning customer care team is available whenever you need help. And remember, whether you shop online or on your mobile phone, your entire order ships for just $2.95. Overstock.com, at home with the O.
Big-time college football returns for the 19th year of the Las Vegas Bowl on Wednesday, December 22nd. Top teams from the Mountain West Conference and the Pac-10 will square off at Sam Boyd Stadium in this annual football tradition that has sold out 5 consecutive years. Get your tickets now. Visit MakoBowlLV.com or call 702-732-3912. Make it your game. It's the Mako Bowl Las Vegas.
People say, Mike, why Ford? Why now? You know what I tell them? Fuel efficiency. Take the Ford Focus with up to an EPA estimated 35 highway miles per gallon.
Gas mileage is huge for me, so that's great.
Or the 2010 Ford Fusion with fuel economy that Honda Accord and Toyota Camry can't top.
Amazing.
And if you're looking for the most fuel-efficient SUV on the planet, that would be the Escape Hybrid. Ford's helping make the world a little greener.
Now, current competitive lessees can lease a Focus for $129 a month for 24 months. Just $129.
Visit your local Ford dealer and drive one.
13-3, Pittsburgh all set to start the fourth quarter here from Heinz Field. College basketball fans, it's that time of the year again. Time for top-notch basketball at the DirecTV SEC Big East Invitational. Catch all the action as Arkansas, Seton Hall, Notre Dame, and Kentucky face off in a doubleheader December 8th at Freedom Hall in Louisville, Kentucky. For tickets and more information, visit www.secbiginvitational.com. That'll be played in Freedom Hall. But, John, I ran into Kenny Klein, the media relations director for basketball for Louisville, and he was talking about that brand new arena down by the river in Louisville.
Yeah.
He said it's the Taj Mahal. It is a palace. Homecoming 2010. Charlie Strong, hoping his defense can stand strong right now. Down 13-3. It's going to be Lewis out of the I formation. Lewis gets the call. Lewis gets the touchdown. And Pittsburgh puts 6 more on the board.
All set up by Jabal Sheard and Miles Carrageen. Dion Lewis goes in, and the Panthers extend that lead to 19-3. Good job off the left side. Dion Lewis, man-on-man on a cornerback, Johnny Patrick. And Dion wins the battle that time on 3rd down, 3rd and goal.
Lewis 60 yards and a touchdown, 60 yards on 16 carries. Dan Hutchins on for the extra point, which is practically automatic for him. Can't get much straighter than that one. He's still perfect here in 2010 with the conversions. So Dion Lewis, 130 yards and a touchdown last week. Gets in the end zone again here this afternoon. The second half touchdown for Pitt. They're up 20-3.
It's time for the Bud Light playbook to the ultimate tailgate car.
Hey, man, come on. You run out of gas?
Actually, there is no gas tank.
Behold, the ultimate tailgate car.
I replaced the gas tank with a keg of Bud Light.
Here we go. The heater doubles as a popcorn popper.
Since we don't have gas, we don't need an engine.
Your grill is a grill.
There's no junk in that trunk. Bud Light, the sure sign of a good time. Here we go.
When it's people who do the right thing, they call it being responsible. When it's an insurance company, they call it Liberty Mutual. Responsibility. What's your policy? Liberty Mutual.
Things different now that I'm not crushing quarterbacks every Sunday? Yeah, a little bit. But I still have a taste for greatness. So I love Dr. Pepper. The taste of these 23 flavors can never be equaled. Like me.
Pizza perfect nab.
I got it. Donovan.
Mike? What, man? Come on, Mike, man.
Still got it.
There's nothing like a pepper. Trust me. I've sent people to the doctor.
I trust my business to Optimum Business. Our internet is incredibly fast. Our phone service is more reliable. And thanks to Optimum Wi-Fi, I'm always connected, even when I'm out of the office. We even get special discounts on important business services with Optimum Business Benefits. Oh, excuse me. I have to take this one.
For millions, the most innovative TV, internet, and phone services in America are all right here at Optimum.
For 100 years, the symbol on this key has stood for world-class quality and engineering. But what really makes this particular key superior to other Audi keys is that it comes with an Audi from Biener of Great Neck, New York's #1 Audi dealer for an incredible 12 consecutive years.
From our friendly sales professionals to our award-winning service center, we'd like to show you why our customers say Biener is better.
Biener Audi, your key to a better car buying experience.
This Big East telecast is brought to you in stunning high definition. Art Bruni Boulevard now, and the Steelers out of town taking on New Orleans this weekend. And right now the Pitt Panthers on top 20-3.
Well, Mike, we talked about it at halftime. The team that was going to be able to come out and score touchdowns and give themselves some separation was going to be the team that gets control of this football game. And the Pitt Panthers have been able to do that with 14 points in this second half to build a 20-3 lead. Powell out of the game for Louisville with that knee injury. Had 64 yards on 11 rushes, but it's a big part of that offense that may be missing in this second half.
Yeah, the graphic, 47 plays, just 2 for negative yardage. Ball falls off the tee for Kevin Harper, young man out of Mentor, Ohio. This one's a low kick, and it's going to be taken at the 11-yard line. Jeremy Wright. Wright is still on his feet over the 50. And he's driven out of bounds at about the 35, and a penalty flag is dropped on top of that. Buddy Jackson ran him out. Jeremy Wright goes 53 on the return. So what do you think? He lowered his head as he pushed him out of bounds, John? Is that going to be the call?
After the play was over, personal foul, number 21 on the kicking team, 15-yard penalty, first down.
It may have been head-to-head contact or helmet-to-helmet, but it was maybe out of bounds as well. And earlier in the season, Buddy Jackson found himself in the doghouse for doing that against Miami, I believe. But on this return, clearly out of bounds and helmet-to-helmet on the sidelines. That'll grab you another 15 yards. So exactly what Louisville was looking for to come out after the spread by Pittsburgh to go up 20-3. They get the football on the Panther 21-yard line.
And Blake Donnell, the senior from Louisville, Kentucky, remains in the backfield. Bilal Powell dinged up on the sidelines with a sore knee. This is Donnell, gets to the line of scrimmage and maybe a yard down to the 20-yard line and picked up 2 officially. As we head downstairs and check in with Eamon.
Well, Mike, Louisville's going to go the rest of the way in this one without Bilal Powell. A tough turn of events for Louisville. Right as Froman got sacked and fumbled, Powell was trying to test out that knee running on the sidelines, and it was still in pain, and you could see the obvious disappointment in his face. So he is not going to be able to return to this ball game. They took the sleeve off and put ice on it. Now we have to worry about next week against Syracuse.
Charlie Strong, 7 years, the defensive coordinator at Florida. 3 different stops in Gainesville, and right now trying to climb back into this game. Froman looking for his 7th consecutive game with a touchdown pass and overshoots his man. That's Andrell Smith. But there's a penalty flag dropped at the 4.
A lot of contact on Andrell Smith on that far side.
Holding, number 25 defense, 10-yard penalty, first down.
That's the young redshirt freshman from Brooklyn, Jason Hendricks. Phil Bennett saying that before the Utah game, if he had to play 60 plays, he'd be scared, but now he's trying to get him on the field. He's been playing so well.
Couldn't see the hold there, but I believe there was some contact before we were able to see the football come close. There we're going to get a good look right there. There's the hold there on big number 14 Smith. He gets into the chest and just tried to reroute him, but the official was right there to make the call.
First down. And they keep it on the ground. This is the redshirt freshman Jeremy Wright trying to fight his way down near the 5-yard line. Dom DeSico coming up to make the stop along with Greg Williams, who picked up 3.
Charlie Strong right now needs to answer not with a field goal, but with a touchdown. Getting into the 4th quarter. Plenty of time left, but you'd love to get 6 points right now with instant field position where they started on the 21-yard line.
Right again, inside the 5, down to the 4-yard line. Alexi makes the stop. He picks up 3. So Jeremy Wright's the 5'11", 199-pounder, carrying most of the load now. He goes off on the 3rd and goal.
And they bring in the big target on the outside, 6'9", Josh Chichester. We talked to defense coordinator Phil Bennett last week, and he said, we've got some Smurfs out there. So you may want to take a look at number 11 in a jump ball situation.
Or maybe that rub play he was talking about will be. Now there's some movement up front on the left side. It's
false start. 78 offense, 5-yard penalty.
Byron Stingley, the senior from Country Club Hills, Illinois. That's a costly error right there, John, for a senior.
Well, they were going to throw the football, it looked like, on that situation anyway. So going back, 5 yards isn't going to hurt this offense. It may give them a little bit more room to run something else that they'd like to get into in their offense in that red zone territory. At least that's the message you're going into the huddle with as the quarterback.
All right. That's that glass half full.
That's right.
Being the former quarterback going into the huddle. Another timeout used on the field. Louisville's first here in the second half. They've got 2 remaining with 12:23 to go. We're going to take a timeout. Affiliates down the line. This is break number 17. We'll be back at Heinz Field, 20-3, but Louisville now threatening to get on the scoreboard.
AT&T and BlackBerry have teamed up to keep your business moving. Introducing the BlackBerry Torch. AT&T. Rethink possible.
We went to Germany's Nürburgring to challenge ourselves on the most demanding track in the world. With us in spirit was every great car that we'd ever competed with. The BMW M5, then the Mercedes-Benz E63. For it was their amazing abilities that pushed us to refine, improve, and ultimately develop the world's fastest production sedan. The CTS-V from Cadillac, the new standard of the world.
One of the benefits of being a Bank of America customer is that we're almost everywhere.
Thousands of banking centers.
And so many ATMs. All over the place.
The new ATM machines are really cool.
No deposit slips.
No envelopes.
Deposit your checks right here and get the check images on your receipt.
We have banking apps for mobile phones.
Don't forget online banking.
You can set up alerts.
Transfer funds.
View your balances.
Thousands of banking centers.
Loads of ATMs.
Mobile banking.
Online banking.
Text banking.
I gotta get back to work.
Bank whenever, wherever, however you want with Bank of America. Basically what I do. How you doing? I'm all right.
Big East Football on SNY is brought to you by Sprint. Stay in the game with this $69.99 plan from Sprint and get way more than the other guys. Visit sprint.com/football for more details.
Doc, I just got your email. I'm out for the season?
Don't worry about that. I switched to Sprint's $69.99 plan, so I get unlimited emails.
What does that mean?
It means I'm dropping you for my fantasy team, that's for sure.
What does that mean about my knee?
Oh, your knee's totally shattered. You see how hard that guy hit you?
I don't want to see...
Hey, relax. Not costing me any extra.
Only Sprint gives you unlimited text, web, and calling to any mobile for just $69.99. Sprint, the Now Network.
Welcome back to the Big East Network Game of the Week, presented by PNC. And now for our AT&T All-America Player of the Week, we go back to East Hartford last night. Seal Moore had a big defensive game for the Huskies in that win.
Multiple tackles by Moore. Did such a spectacular job in that win. The first win by UConn over West Virginia. 17 total tackles, 3 tackles for a loss, 2 forced fumbles, and 2 fumble recoveries. That's a career high in tackles, and that's the AT&T All-America Player of the Week.
Text vote to 345-3345 from your mobile phone to vote for a chance to win a trip to the national championship. Third down for the Cardinals. Down 20-3. Froman with a long count. Long way to go, and he's not going to get there. Brandon Lindsay is the first to tie him up, number 35. A redshirt junior from Aliquippa.
Lindsay doing an excellent job on 3rd and goal. Louisville had exactly what they wanted, man coverage. But the penetration on that offensive line didn't give the quarterback, Adam Froman, a chance to get in on that counter play for the quarterback, almost a quarterback draw. And now the Panthers standing tall on 4th down with this field goal opportunity.
Philpott from 30. He already has a 35-yarder. This one is partially deflected. That's going to be the 24th block kick since Dave Wanstead took over this program, if indeed it was deflected. Either that or it was an awfully poor kick, but it looked to me down here that the way it was fluttering out there.
Well, that was an opportunity for this Louisville Cardinal offense. Yeah, yep. It looked like it was hit on the side. Pretty sure it looked like 22. Reed.
Antoine Reed. That's his second block kick of the year and the 24th under Dave Wanstead. So Philpott misses from 30.
Well, that Louisville offense had the ball on the 21-yard line and couldn't come away with any points, and that might be the turning point in this football game for the Cardinals.
Graham on the field now instead of Dion Lewis for the Panthers. Oh, he gets the call, and how do you do? Brandon Heath. Charlie Strong said he's the leader on that defense, and he doesn't talk much. Leads by his actions. Well, there you go.
He doesn't have to talk. That was a big-time hit in the Pitt offensive backfield. Heath's going to come right from the linebacker position, untouched, and unleash on Ray Graham.
Loss of one, only the third play for Pitt that's gone for negative yardage here this afternoon. Fullback, Chris Mike in motion, and Sinceri. And this one's deflected up for grabs, and it falls incomplete. Batted at the line of scrimmage.
Louisville starting to turn up the heat on first and second down. Vance Bedford, the defensive coordinator, bringing some pressure, a corner blitz on second down, trying to turn the tide and force a turnover to get his offense or maybe even score some points defensively in his first season as the defensive coordinator at Louisville, trying to make plays because they came away with no points with field position on their last offensive set, now trying to turn the tide with his defense.
Roy Fallon, the big freshman, batted the ball down. They're 7 of 12 now today in third down situations. Fires. This one's going to be high over the head. One of the few passes that hasn't been on target for Sinceri today.
Well, that's a good defensive stand and a good 3 down, 3 and out by this defense. Big plays by Heath. Johnny Patrick came on a corner blitz and then pressure on third down on Sinceri. So the Panthers give the football right back and give some hope to Bedford and his defense.
Hutchins on the punt. First time he's punted here today. And Doug Beaumont back at the 38-yard line. Number 27 had a 91-yard return nullified, and then he came back and scored on a 74-yard return last week against the UConn Huskies. There he calls for the fair catch at about the 41.5-yard line, a 39-yard punt. We'll step away and use up one of our timeouts. 20-3, Pittsburgh on top, 10:45 to go in the game.
Can a smartphone be its own guardian angel? Can it keep an eye out for itself? Literally show and tell you where it is when you don't even know yourself. Droid can with Lookout Mobile Security. One of thousands of free apps for the Droid X and Droid 2 by Motorola. Available on the ever-expanding Android market. When there's no limit to what Droid gets, there's no limit to what Droid does.
It's luxury with fire in its veins. Bold, daring, capable of moving your soul. And that's even before you drop your foot on the pedal. The new 2011 CTS Coupe from Cadillac. The new standard of the world.
How are those flat rate boxes working out?
Fabulous. They gave me this great idea.
Yeah?
We mail documents all over the country. So what if there were priority mail flat rate
envelopes?
Yes. You could ship to any state.
For a low flat rate?
Yes. A really low flat rate.
Like $4.90?
Yes. It could look like a flat rate box.
Only flatter. Like this?
You, me, genius.
Genius.
Priority mail flat rate envelopes. Just $4.90. Only from the Postal Service. A simpler way to ship.
My parents have always lived in Queens, until 2 years ago when my dad transferred to Istanbul. They settled in quickly, found their local deli, a few shortcuts, and a neighborhood hangout. But there's one thing they miss, their beloved New York Mets. So I asked Citi how many thank you points it would take to give them something special. Their old seats, 5 and 6, row C.
Citi thank you points can be used for almost anything you choose. What's your story? Citi can help you write it.
There's one of John Congemi's friends that stayed up too late last night. John, let's take a look at today's Bud Light playbook. A big number 97, Jabal Shear.
Yeah, let's get into the playbook. And Jabal Shear, 9 sacks on the season, 2 today. He's down here on the bottom, and he's just going to use his speed rush to get to the quarterback. Adam Froman just going to run right by Greg Tomczyk, and it's the little stutter move that he makes and then strips the football to Miles Carrageen. who goes 55 yards. Watch the stutter move inside, and then he uses his speed to the outside. Carrageen does the rest. He goes 55 yards with the return. That's the longest return since 2001. But it's just the pressure, the relentless pressure on the outside by Shear.
Here come the Cardinals now. The ball just over the 40-yard line. Froman comes up firing, looking, and missing. His intended receiver was Josh Bellamy, the junior college transfer. Antoine Reed in coverage for Pittsburgh. So Froman trying to get the Cardinals on the board again. He's had a touchdown pass in 6 consecutive games. 13 of 19 for just 82 yards for Charlie Strong. There's 3 penalties. They come in averaging about 8. The 3 penalties on special teams. And, of course, the missed field goal and the fumble. That's the first turnover in 4 games for these Cardinals. Bowman fires, and again he misses his man. That's the tight end, Graham. Cameron Graham, the intended receiver.
Well, you get back to fundamentals, and on that play you can see Froman never really set his feet to throw the football. He had plenty of time, but he was just going back and leaning back on that back foot, and you can't be accurate all the time when you do that. Watch the quarterback in the pocket. All he has to do is set that back foot and get back and throw the football, but you can see he resets and then sets and resets again, and he's off target. That's the second time I've seen him do that. If he can just stick his foot in the ground and be positive, get the ball out with timing, he'll be more accurate.
I was thinking about big number 97, Jabal Shear.
Well, sometimes you get those feet going when you see him down there, but that time he had time to throw the football.
And he overshoots his man. I always say, half jokingly, how do you overshoot a 6'9 receiver? But Chichester, looking for his first catch, doesn't come up with it. He's had a catch in 6 straight games, and now they're going to have to punt it away.
Well, that was disappointing for Louisville because the defense for Charlie Strong came out and went 3 and out and shut down Pitt. They end up getting the football with good field position and go 3 and out themselves offensively. So that's one of those things they're going to go back and look at tomorrow and say, you know, this is where we needed to take advantage with our offense.
Philpott. Sadler. And he calls for the fair catch at the 23. A 35-yard punt by Blazier, rather. You know, earlier went up, we saw Phil Bennett. That's Jeff Hafley, who Bennett says is the next Urban Meyer. And we found out that Jeff's father, Greg, is watching the broadcast back in New Jersey, but he's under the weather. And so Coach Bennett wanted us to give out a shout and say hello to Mr. Hafley. So we send our best. Your son is doing a super job, according to Phil Bennett. Again, that's quite the compliment, calling him the next Urban Meyer. .10:21 to go. There's that play action to the right side. Plenty of time, and look who gets to carry the football. Chris Mike, the redshirt sophomore from West Haven, Connecticut. And he picks up 18 yards before Brandon Heath drags him down.
Well, watching the Panthers over the last couple of weeks, anytime that they need to find some rhythm, anytime they need to go down and find a play in that playbook, it looks like Frank Cignetti's dialing up that little play action, that little half boot to get the high-low stretch and get it to their fullback. This time, Chris Mike makes it very productive.
And if you joined us late, Henry Hanoski is out with a mild concussion, I think Eamon said. This is Deion Lewis.
Deion Lewis cuts it back.
It's over the 40, picks up 3 on the play before Hakeem Smith drags him down.
This is the part of the football game right now where the Panthers want to use some of that clock. We talked about the number of plays in their drives that they've been able to go down the field in the first half. They had drives of 12 plays, 11 plays. This is one of those times right now where the quarterback and Tino Sinceri in this offense want to control the clock and control the football.
That's the fullback in motion. Here comes Johnny Patrick showing blitz, and Sinceri hits his fullback, and a good defensive play. And Daniel Brown, the sophomore linebacker, makes the stop. Johnny Patrick kind of disrupted things in the backfield. They pick up 2 on the play, so hats off to Sinceri to pick up something.
You can see, though, the progression of this defense and what Charlie Strong has brought to this team. They've got team speed on defense, and that play looked like it was going to go for much more than what it did initially, but Daniel Brown was able to get outside and get on that fullback and keep Pitt at a 3rd and medium situation.
Charlie Strong's resume speaks for itself. In the first half, we talked about that staff that he put together. There's a 3rd down play now for Dion Lewis, and he's not going to make it. He's smothered shy of the 45-yard line. And that's going to bring up another punting situation for Dave Wanstead. Here, look at that staff, John. Every one of these guys on that list have a national championship ring. Bedford, 2 of them actually, Michigan and Florida. And Sanford is a player at USC. Look at Alabama, Florida, Miami, Florida State, Tennessee. That is a pretty good staff.
A lot of quality on that staff. And the one thing that Charlie Strong stressed was, I'm going to hire teachers that are sincerely interested in teaching these kids, and that they want the best interest in what's best for the student athlete with my players. And I think he's got a great crew.
Hutchins with the punts. And another fair catch called at about the 19-yard line by Doug Beaumont, a 36-yard punt. Yeah, Charlie Strong said he took his time getting that staff together, and now they're trying to turn the corner, but now trying to score some points here against these Panthers. 7:34 to go.
Here's the truth. At Allstate, safe drivers can save 45% or more on car insurance. Protect your home with Allstate, too, and you can save an extra 10%. Dollar for dollar, nobody protects you like Allstate.
All right, I must admit, I can't explain any of these thoughts racing through my brain. It's true. Baby, I'm howling for you.
Cadillac CTS Sports Sedan. A car and driver 10 best for the 3rd year in a row. Right now, get 0% financing for 72 months on a Cadillac CTS Sports Sedan. Cadillac, the new standard of the world.
This is Dr. Love! And this is Dr. Pepper Cherry. It's got a little kiss of cherry flavor. You want cherry? How about a little kiss? They call me Dr. Love. I've got the cure you're thinking of. Dr. Love. You can't beat a little kiss of cherry. Trust me, I'm a doctor.
I'm a satellite dish. You tried to fix me for the game. You just made me loose. So get Allstate and protect your house and car from mayhem like me.
Dollar for dollar, nobody protects you from mayhem like Allstate.
You've never seen fast. You've never held it in your hand, then unleashed it with the fingertip. Never watched pixels whip by at 1 gigahertz and had your neurons struggle to keep up. You've never seen fast because you've never seen this. The Droid Incredible by HTC. It's nothing short of its name.
Buy a Droid Incredible with Flash and get any phone free.
Today's Big East Network game has been brought to you by PNC, for the achiever in us all. Cadillac, the new standard of the world. Tradewinds Resort on St. Pete Beach, Florida. Go long, our beach is open. Allstate, you're in good hands. Dr. Pepper, there's nothing like a pepper. The Polaris factory authorized clearance event going on now until October 31st. Vonage, sounds good. And by the 4th annual DirecTV SEC Big East Invitational, December 8th and 11th in both Louisville and Pittsburgh. Halloween weekend here in Pittsburgh, and right now it's 20-3 with 7.5 minutes to go, 7:34 to be exact, before they put this one away. 6-3, the halftime score, just a couple of touchdowns, rushing touchdowns, one by Graham and one by Dion Lewis. And now Adam Froman trying to get the Cardinals in the end zone for the first time here this afternoon. Nice opening play. They're going to move the chains on the first play. They pick up 12. Jeremy Wright, young redshirt freshman, tackled by number 31, Don DeSico. Hey, John Congemi, an update now. 7 minutes ago in Cincinnati, Syracuse on top 31-7.
Well, that's a huge win coming off the win in Morgantown, and now they go to Cincinnati and command against the Bearcats.
Time is not on the side of the Cardinals now. There's a little option. And Wright certainly getting his carries now. Greg Williams drums on the bounds. All right, John, let's take a look now at our Polaris hardest working player of the game.
Well, it has to be the defensive end for the Panthers, Jabal Sheard. He's come down and made some nice job of stuffing the run, but relentless pressure on the passer as well. He's been all over the field for the Panthers. He's their do-it-all defensive end, and he's the Polaris hardest working player of the game. 4 tackles, 2 sacks, and 2 forced fumbles on the afternoon.
He had 2 sacks last week, and Brandon Lindsay had 3, and they both shared the defensive player of the week, picked by the Pittsburgh coaching staff. This one's underthrown again, looking for Andrell Smith.
The biggest thing you notice in the difference between the first half and the second half with the Louisville offense is they tried to get the football out on time. Quick screen passes, quick plays to the perimeter, and get some rhythm in the offense passing the football. But in the second half, when Adam Froman's tried to throw the football down the field, he's been late, and he's been holding it, and he's been trying to really put it on target, but he's been off target trying to get it down the field. And I just thought they lost that rhythm in their pass offense.
Well, Mike Sanford said even against Connecticut in that 26-0 victory, they had not gone downfield against the Huskies like they had the previous 3 weeks. That was a concern for the offensive coordinator. And there's another sack for the Panthers, and this time it's going number 59, the freshman Aaron Donald gets his first as a Panther. Froman shaken up on the play, so we might see Justin Burke.
Well, the freshman from Pittsburgh gets his sack, his first sack on the afternoon and of the season. Just nice speed replay up the middle of the field on Rederer, the left guard, and a good job. -8 on the sack.
And that is Philpott in punting now. And Sadler lets this one hit at the 33. And again, it takes a Louisville bounce inside the 25. It's going to be down at about the 23-yard line. 47-yard punt for Philpott. Josh Blazer, the usual punter, averaging about 39.9. And Sadler's taken some heat for not retrieving some of those punts, especially against Notre Dame. He let 3 go and giving up field position, but now I guess you're up 20-3. It's really not that imperative.
Yeah, get away from the football. 5:49. If you have any hesitation, let your offense and Censerian gang come out and try to milk some of this clock, because you don't want to have a costly turnover deep in your own end. So on that particular play, if you weren't 100% sure to field it, get away.
So now the Panthers trying to eat some clock. They keep it on the ground. Ray Graham bouncing around all the way up to the 30-yard line. Let's take a look now at our good hands play of the day, brought to you by Allstate.
And again, it was on the defensive side, a good strip of the football by Sheard coming from the outside and then picked up by Miles Kerrigan. He's going to rumble and stumble 55 yards, the longest return Pitt's had since the 2001 season. This is the Allstate good hands play of the game. It goes from Sheard to Miles Kerrigan.
Well, Miles Kerrigan running down the field. You could almost get inside his head. Like, there's only 15 yards to go, and he got down to the 5-yard line, and that's as close to the end zone he would get. So here's Graham. He's found the end zone once, and he's tripped up just over the 30-yard line by Brandon Heath. Picked up just 1 on the play. So inside 5 minutes now. This will be the second straight 3-0 start in Big East play for the Panthers. First year for Tino Sinceri. There's Henry Hinoski playing out with that mild concussion. Big loss for the Panthers. His backup Chris Mike, though, with an 18-yard pass reception. Had to feel good for that redshirt sophomore out of Connecticut. Nowhere to go. The number 1, 44, that's B.J. Butler, the true freshman from Kissimmee, Florida, making the stop or the initial contact. Loss of 3 on the play, and once again, Pitt's going to give up the football.
Well, you like the energy of this defense for the Cardinals. They've come out and forced Pitt 3 and out a couple of times here in the fourth quarter, doing a nice job of pressuring that line of scrimmage and committing so many bodies in white shirts at the point of attack. Nowhere to run for Ray Graham.
Beaumont standing at the 35-yard line. Hutchins punting at about the 15. It's a line drive punt, and Beaumont turns and watches it go over his head inside the 5-yard line. It's going to be down. No, it's not. Unbelievable. That ball hit. Easy for me to sit here and say this, but I thought for sure they were going to down that at about the 1-yard line.
Yeah, it looked like Buddy Jackson was going to be able to get that football and throw it into the field of play. And the ball actually spun backwards. He gets it about the 1-yard line. I'm not so sure if he carried it into the end zone, then tried to bring it back. But as you see, it spins back and crosses the goal line. So a touchback, and that ball will come out to the 20-yard line.
Hutchins leads the Big East at 46.8. So guess how long that punt went? 71. That'll boost up the average a little
Yes,
bit.
sir.
So the 71-yard punt, but it finds its way into the end zone. So they'll start from the 20-yard line. And Blaine Donnell in the backfield with Froman. Our 1st and 10 line is brought to you by Overstock.com. The new quarterback, and it's picked off. DeSico with his 3rd INT, still on his feet, and he goes backwards, but Justin Burke, the backup quarterback from Lexington, Kentucky, started his college career at NC State. Comes in the ball game for the injured Adam Froman. His first pass is picked off, and that's his first INT this year.
Well, tough chore coming off the bench, being on that sideline the entire game, but this one is right to Dom DeSico, just undercutting the route. Actually, looked like Dom ran the route for the tight end Cameron Graham, and just in perfect position to catch the football and then go down with his interception. A nice play, good anticipation, his 3rd on the season.
And the Panthers now just outside the red zone at the 21-yard line with only 3:21 to go. And they go to the bag of tricks anyway, and Baldwin is smothered at about the 28-yard line. So big number 93. Loss of 7 on the play. Daniel Brown coming up to make the initial contact along with Roy Fallon. We've called Fallon's name quite a few times for the redshirt freshman from Lexington, Kentucky. So the Pitt Panthers, they're idle next week. They'll be 3-0. And as we mentioned, the Louisville Cardinals, they will head for the Dome up in Syracuse. And again, Syracuse leading Cincinnati in the 4th quarter, 31-7, the last time we checked. Lewis on the pitch as he tries to sweep the right side, but number 5, Brandon Heath, says not this time. Check that, it's Chris Burns in the game now. That's 2 weeks in a row now we made that mistake. Dion Lewis, number 28, Chris Burns, number 29. Burns coming in with 15 carries. Inside 2 minutes. 6-3 the halftime score. These Panthers last week tied up at 14 with Rutgers, went on to win at 41-21. Now they lead at 20-3. And John, let's take a look now at our Dr. Pepper unrivaled player of the game. Dom DeSico with his 3rd pick of the year.
Well, Dom DeSico did a nice job of making plays in this game. 11 tackles, 7 of them solo, and 1 interception. He did a nice job of tackling in space because he had a tough back to tackle in Bilal Powell, and he did it for the better part of 3 quarters. And he comes up with that last interception to seal the victory for the Panthers.
Tino Sunseri, the redshirt sophomore quarterback for the Pitt Panthers, will get another victory notched on his belt. This is Burns, weaving through some traffic inside the 25-yard line. So Burns getting some reps the last 3 games late in the game as we approach the 1-minute mark.
A nice afternoon by Sunseri and his offense. They found a way to get it done in the 3rd quarter by getting some points on the scoreboard and getting this lead to 20-3 after being held to a couple field goal opportunities in the first half.
So the senior Justin Burke, 6'3", 229, back on the field after throwing the INT. And the Cardinals now with 62 seconds to work with. Donnell gets the call, and he's wrapped up just over the line of scrimmage. Inside a minute, a gain of 3 on the play for Donnell. Tyrone Ezali, redshirt freshman from here in Pennsylvania, making the stop defensively. So the Pitt Panthers, you talk about the transformation, maturation, whatever you want to call it. The first 5 games they were 2-3, averaging 25 points a game. They were -2 in the turnover. Last 2 games, 43 points, +4. And a couple of big turnovers. We talked about Carrageen rumbling down the field 55 yards, and Don DeSico coming up with another pick. And Dave Wannstedt gets his 5th victory in 2010, but most importantly, John, he's 3-0 in the Big East.
Well, that's the most important thing right now, because the Panthers didn't start this season the way they would have liked to, but they still have a chance to right the ship and really in the driver's seat in the Big East Conference.
So Charlie Strong and his Cardinals head off to the Carrier Dome next week to take on the
so Pitt gets the win 20-3 over Louisville. We will break down Pitt's big second half once again coming up on the Big East postgame show. Also, Syracuse continues their incredible season. Is anybody happy about that?
Continue to roll. They continue to roll.
Continue to roll. It's all coming up when we come back on the Big East postgame show.
Get all your post-game highlights, analysis, and the latest conference updates and news from our team of Big East experts on the Big East Football Postgame Show, coming up only on SNY.
I'm Gary Apple. Coming up tonight on Geico Sports Night. Now that the Mets have a new general manager, the search is on for a new manager. We'll have the very latest on that, plus the Knicks opening up at home against the Blazers. We hope to see you tonight.
When people say, Mike, why Ford? Why now? You know what I tell them? Fuel efficiency. Take the Ford Focus with up to an EPA estimated 35 highway miles per gallon.
Gas mileage is huge for me, so that's great.
Or the 2010 Ford Fusion with fuel economy that Honda Accord and Toyota Camry can't top.
Amazing.
And if you're looking for the most fuel-efficient SUV on the planet, that would be the Escape Hybrid. Ford's helping make the world a little greener.
Now, current competitive lessees can lease an Escape for $209 a month for 27 months. Just $209.
Visit your local Ford dealer and drive one.
Hey, everybody, welcome to the Big East post-game show. Pitt taking it to Louisville 20-3, which leaves me with a very depressed Roman Oben over there.
Sad, very
and we'll get to
sad.
Syracuse in a second with a very happy Don McPherson.
Yeah, what are you going to do?
You're very happy, I know. But let's talk about our game right now. Once again, Pitt getting it done in the second half. What did you see out of Pitt in the second half here?
I saw Pitt be very patient offensively and do the little things they had to do, putting a drive together to start the second half. That's exactly what they had to do, was get settled down in their offensive scheme.
Yeah, in the first half, you saw a lot of field goals, scores 63, a lot of back and forth, good, strong defensive stance. But in the second half, I talked about Graham being a factor. He scores, and they really started to take control of the game as they've done the last few weeks.
Well, you mentioned Graham, who we didn't see much of in the first half, as Deion Lewis was more of the primary running back. But he did have a big effect in the second half, especially that first touchdown in the second half.
Yes, he did, and it begins with just the offensive playing consistent and being able to throw the football, being able to throw the intermediate pass. That's the thing that Tino Sinceri had to do. They weren't getting the big plays that they, with a guy like Jonathan Baldwin. They kept the intermediate and also got the running game going again.
Yeah, I'm looking at the solid core they have offensively with the skilled players. You got Sinceri, Graham Lewis, obviously Baldwin. You have to continue to go to those same plays, even though you weren't as successful in the first half. Second half, things will open up. Like I said again, that's what they've done the last few weeks to be successful.
Also defensively, very interesting. I mean, the game really turned. Louisville was hanging in there until this play happened in the third quarter. Jabal Sheard makes the move. Adam Froman cannot sense the pressure. Ball is loose. Miles Carrageen, the big recovery, runs it back. a long, long way. It was a turning point in this game. My question to you is why the quarterback couldn't sense Sheard coming up on him there?
You know, when Sheard is engaged with his offensive tackle, you can sense the pressure. He should probably slide in the pocket. But when a defensive lineman is engaged with your offensive lineman, you can feel the pressure, but you don't necessarily have a sense of urgency because you think your guy's got him.
Yeah, and Froman hadn't been sacked a lot from the right side. You know, sometimes your depth perception of how close that guy is comes skewed a little bit. So, but Sheard had an excellent day. I mean, 2 sacks, 2 forced fumbles. I mean, he was an animal today.
Well, here's our numbers on the second half for the Panthers. I mean, they are dominating now, coming out of the break. What is going on? What happens to a team where this is starting to happen consistently? What is changing at halftime?
Well, I think it's not so much what is changing at halftime, but what is changing with this team as it matures through the season. They know they have to play 60 minutes. They know that they're going to score points towards the end of the football game, so they stick to the game plan. They stick to being patient with what they were doing. That's exactly what Pittsburgh did. It's what they've done the last couple of weeks, and they've got some big plays the last couple of weeks against Rutgers and Syracuse. But here they had to be a little bit more methodic. I thought that, all things considered, Louisville did a better job than Syracuse and Rutgers did defending that run game for Pitt.
But I'm looking at a football team in Pitt who was 2-3 at one point. Weinstead always said they had really one of the toughest non-conference schedules in the division. Second half, how they played, how they responded. It shows just really the toughness and resiliency of this football team. And, hey, some teams are first-half teams. They start out fast and they fizzle. But Pitt is a team, Weinstead gets his guys going. They keep going. Whatever they say in the locker room, it's worked. But obviously you want to see a cleaner game, but they've really done it up front.
All right, there is other action to talk about in the Big East. Syracuse in Cincinnati for the Bearcats. Homecoming Syracuse, red hot. Chaz Anderson in for Zach Collaros, who was probable, like the rest of us, didn't play today. Second quarter, no score. Syracuse trying to convert 4th and 3. Ryan Nassib to Nick Provo.
Yeah, Ryan Nassib was very safe with the football throw. Good, consistent passes. Here's a nice little zip in there at the Van Chu for the touchdown.
3-yard score, 7-0 Syracuse. Cincinnati's next play on offense, not exactly as it's drawn up. Anderson would fumble.
Yeah, not exactly as well. I mean, you look at this misdirection play. I mean, this was really indicative of how much defensively they jumped on Cincinnati the whole game.
And then watch this play. Adam Harris trying to run it in, fumbles. But look at that. Ryan Bartholomew falls on it. That's a lineman's dream, isn't it?
A lineman's dream indeed. When everything's going right, the balls bounce your way, the fumbles end up in your hand at the end of the game.
And the fumbles continue. This time, DJ Woods putting it on the ground. That's recovered as well by Philip Thomas of the Cuse.
Yeah, and Philip Thomas brings us back and puts Syracuse in scoring position. 17 points off of 3 turnovers for Syracuse. That defense is being opportunistic, and the offense is taking advantage.
Made it 17-0 Syracuse after the field goal, but finally, DJ Woods gets it going wide open right there. 33-yard touchdown, 17-7. Third quarter, same score. Cincy driving, looking to make it a 3-point game. Chaz Anderson, what a terrible pass.
Terrible pass by your third quarterback. You just don't make that kind of decision, but this really shows how well they've played defensively for Q.
Smith taking it back 60 yards to the Bearcats, 37 in Syracuse. Cashes in. Nassib to Antoine Bailey, nothing but green.
Yeah, nothing but green. Again, being opportunistic. This is the different Syracuse team than we've seen in the past. When they've been able to get some turnovers, now they're turning them into points.
Bailey's second touchdown of the game right there, a 1-yard score. Syracuse up 31-7. And the Orange taking down Butch Jones. The resurgent Syracuse Orange, a 31-7 win. My alma mater. Only when they win, by the way. Ryan Nassib, 16-26, 125 yards, 2 touchdowns. Chaz Anderson struggled more for Cincinnati, 18-33, 148 yards and a touchdown. You know I tout the grad school time there when they win.
But the Statesman won today, too, so you're proud all over.
Absolutely. But let's focus on my grad school place. They really are resurgent. They've gotten a lot going on here.
They really do. And if you look at what they've done today, time of possession, almost twice as much time of possession as Cincinnati in this football game, they have done a great job of sticking to their game plan, believing in what the coaches are saying. One of the big things that Syracuse did today that I was very impressed with was their ability to score off of turnovers. And in college football, in any game of football, if you turn the ball over, you will lose. West Virginia saw it last night, and then Cincinnati saw it today. In Syracuse, I was very impressed with their ability to take turnovers and turn them into points.
Yeah, look at those turnovers. Every time I look at a defense, I'm looking at how many guys are in the screen when they cuff off the ball. How many guys in the screen when a play's made?
Great point.
Look, every time a play's, you see 7, 8 guys in the screen. Somebody's running down the field interception. You're seeing 6, 7 guys in the screen. That shows the swarm ability, that's a new word, swarm ability of the defense. What shots Scott Chafer's done an excellent job of how high of a level those guys have played.
Well, how do you explain these turnovers? I mean, some of them, I understand the defense did play well, but some of it just seemed sloppy in the part of Cincinnati. How do we explain what happened with that?
You know what? There are 2 things, I think. Obviously, defense can force some things, make some things happen. You can get in the defensive front and surprise an offense and surprise a quarterback, a running back exchange and break up a play that way. But the other thing is you can just have sloppy ball handling. And when that happens, again, the difference is, are you swarming? If you're not swarming to the football and an offensive player makes some mistakes and puts the ball on the ground, then you're not there to get the recovery. Right. And that's what when Roman talks about swarmability, that helps because guys put the ball on the ground a lot of times and they get it back. But if the defense is swarming, defense gets the ball.
And it's really the swarmability and the controlled rage that these guys are playing with. It's everybody doing their job, guys filling their gaps. And when you have that gap integrity, you're going to squeeze plays down, you're going to squeeze them inside, a ball gets coughed up, you lose at the point of attack, another guy picks up a fumble. Hey, everybody celebrates when defense gets these kind of turnovers.
I love what he uses.
Swarm ability
and controlled rage.
And gap integrity.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh,
gap integrity.
You got two smart guys up there.
No.
Talk about
That's that 3.0 for Louisville. That's what's happening right there.
Let me tell you, I'm going to use some swarmability and control my rage and take us to break. When we come back, we'll hear from Randy Edsall, whose Huskies pulled off a thriller last night at Rentschler Field. Plus, we'll check in on Rutgers, who had a bye this week, hit the practice field today. It's the Big East post-game show. We're coming right back.
Big East football on SNY. Get an inside look at the Big East game of the week as host Jonas Schwartz, former Syracuse quarterback Don McPherson, former Louisville offensive tackle Roman Oben, and former UConn defensive tackle Sean Mulcahy bring you in-depth coverage with insider info, game breakdowns, highlights, and player and coach reactions in our City pregame, Sprint halftime, and postgame coverage. Saturday, starting at 11:30, only on SNY.
Here's a special free offer for men who are losing their hair.
My hair always looks great, and I feel great.
If you want to look better, and if you want to feel better about yourself, Hair Club is the way to go.
Men, you know that getting your hair back will make you look good and improve your self-confidence, like no diet or exercise program. It's a proven fact that a thicker, fuller head of hair makes you look younger, healthier, and sexier. Get the look you want that women love.
Only Hair Club provides all the proven technologies and solutions for hair loss that are available.
They really took care of me, and the results are fantastic.
I'm 52, and I look better now than I did when I was in my 40s.
If you call right now to book your free, no-obligation consultation, we'll also give you a microscopic hair and scalp analysis, a $250 value, absolutely free. If you want to look younger, feel better, and get a full head of hair again, call Hair Club today.
Call them. Just call Hair Club. Hair Club has worked wonders for me.
Why wait? Call Hair Club now for your free information kit and find out how you can get your hair back. Call now.
SNY, the new TV home of UConn men's basketball, featuring live game coverage, including several heated conference matchups and a detailed breakdown of select games with our pregame, halftime, and postgame reports. Plus, get exclusive access to the team with one-on-one interviews and expanded programming on air and online, dedicated to keeping you on top of all the latest Huskies news. It's all on SNY, the new TV home of UConn men's basketball.
Highlights from last night. UConn hosting West Virginia. Zach Frazier back starting for the Huskies. First quarter, no score. Mountaineers ball thrown 47. Brad Starks got a lot of room.
Brad Starks, the biggest play of the game offensively for West Virginia.
53 yards for the touchdown. Mountaineers up 7-0. Third quarter, UConn down 10-3. From the Mountaineer 24, Jordan Todman. We've seen plenty of this.
33 carries, 113 yards, but this 25-yarder was really what sold the deal for him today.
10-10 game, tied at 13 in overtime. First and goal, West Virginia from UConn 1. Ryan Clark runs into his own lineman, fumbles the ball. UConn's Lawrence Wilson recovers. Roman, let's blame the line.
Hey, look, you got to have your eyes open. You can't. The hip pad or whatever that was that caused that fumble, that wasn't one of the force, and that was their fault.
You're not going to get them to blame the line.
I can't blame the lineman, and I can't blame Dave Tegger. 27 yards out, up and good. UConn takes it 16-13. The school's first ever win over West Virginia, so the celebration was on at Rentschler Field. And you could see West Virginia, 7 fumbles, 4 lost. We talk about Cincy today having trouble holding the ball. West Virginia last night, Frazier enough to get the job done. Jordan Todman, 113 yards and a touchdown. And UConn head coach Randy Edsall joined us in the pregame show today and talked about parity in the conference.
To me, it is wide open. It's probably as competitive as it's ever been. You know, I don't think somebody's just going to get up and run away with this thing. And again, it's one of those situations where any given week, any given game, I think one team in this conference can beat the others, and it's proven out that way. And I just hope now that we can move forward and put a winning streak together and just continually take them one at a time and hopefully get ourselves back into the race.
All right, now, a very interesting game in the sense of Zach Frazier had been tossed aside by UConn, really for two other guys. Comes in, does the job, plays well. I would assume there's a lot of mental toughness necessary to do that.
I would say not just tossed aside, but he played poorly in the first few games of the season. He lost his job to Cody Andrews. He didn't just get tossed aside. Then Cody Andrews came in and won a couple of games for them, and all of a sudden Zach Frazier finds himself third on the depth chart. They go to Michael Box, and now Zach Frazier gets his opportunity against what we thought was a pretty tough West Virginia ball club. But Zach Frazier came in there, played a very solid game. I thought all night. I don't think he was spectacular, but I thought he played with confidence and delivered the ball on time and was pretty safe with the football.
Yeah, I mean, look at the guy. He got benched for a reason. I mean, I think he was trying to make too many plays, but you look at a guy last night, he made the plays that he was supposed to make. He showed poise, character, leadership, and he really shook off not only a dismal season early on, but really a dismal last 2 weeks for UConn as well.
He also got benched, and rightfully so. Both of you are right. He got benched because he wasn't willing to take chances, which was stifling that offense. Now, West Virginia, they took chances and fumbled the ball all over the place. How do you, just as I asked you with Cincy, how do you explain that a West Virginia team that had started the season so well, had such trouble holding onto the ball?
West Virginia has always done well with mobile quarterbacks who can run around and make that spread offense happen. And when you have guys like Austin and Devine and Sanders, those guys are playmakers. You have to get the ball in their hands. But the West Virginia offense goes, as does the quarterback position, in being able to make things happen from the quarterback position to allow those other guys some open space in an open field. And right now, Geno Smith is not doing that in the run game, in that option attack of the spread offense. He's holding on to the ball too long. He's not making good reads. That stifles the run game in the spread offense and doesn't allow him to open up those other three guys.
We saw a mature quarterback earlier on in the season, but what we've seen the last 2 weeks is not a mature quarterback. The last 2 weeks, they've really played as poorly as any team I've seen really in college football. I mean, I'm not being too hard on them, but a Bill Stewart team, disciplined, excellent at the quarterback position. Offensively, they run the ball well, but we just haven't seen that. When you get allowed 7 forced fumbles, you run into the back of your offensive lineman, mishandling handoffs, it really shows that you're not really focused and concentrated. We're talking about a team that lost to LSU and was going to really be a top 20 team. They've really fallen out of favor in college football the last 2 weeks.
It is always funny to watch the twists and turns of the college football season. UConn had gone through a rough stretch. Kudos to Coach Randy Edsall holding his group together, and then they're down 10-0, and they still come back. Is this the kind of game that can get them going again?
It is the kind of game that can get them going again, but I think a lot depends on what happens at the quarterback position. And Zach Frazier, it's easy to come off the bench, especially if you start the year as a starter. If you keep your head in it, it's easy to come back and make some things happen off the bench because you can see the field a little bit differently. He's got to settle down and be the starter they thought he was back in September.
Yeah, I mean, you go 0-2, you lose to Rutgers, you get blown up by Louisville last week, and Coach Edsall said the Big East is wide open. They just continue to plug away and believe in what they've done, believe in what's made them successful over the last few years. I think UConn's still going to be okay this season.
All right, when we come back, Don and Roman will hand out grades for Pitt and Louisville. Plus, we'll hear from Dave Wannstedt and Tino Sunseri. It's all coming up when we come back.
You've never seen fast. You've never held it in your hand, then unleashed it with the fingertip. Never watched pixels whip by at 1 gigahertz and had your neurons struggle to keep up. You've never seen fast because you've never seen this. The Droid Incredible by HTC. It's nothing short of its name.
Buy a Droid Incredible with Flash and get any phone free.
Home-delivered diet food tastes
like dirt. It's awful.
Can't someone make home-delivered diet food that tastes like real food?
Yes, and you're gonna love it. Introducing eDiet's fresh prepared meal delivery. Freshly prepared, ready-to-eat, delicious meals delivered directly from our kitchen to you. Our meals are not dehydrated, powdered, or freeze-dried. They're freshly prepared and shipped cooler packed to your door.
With eDiet's home delivery, all you have to do to lose weight is eat food. Really good food.
Discover why Epicurious.com rated eDiet's meal delivery #1 in taste and nutrition. You'll save money because unlike Unlike those other plans, there's no need to buy tons of extra groceries. You'll get all the support and 24/7 access to a community of friends.
I've lost 29 pounds with eDiets. Anybody could do this and lose weight.
Go online or call eDiets right now and get 1 week of delicious home-delivered meals free. Visit ediets.com or call to place your order now.
It's the Jets on SNY. Get behind-the-scenes access, player reactions, and a complete game breakdown on Jets Postgame Live with exclusive on-field interviews, wall-to-wall locker room coverage, and Rex Ryan's postgame comments. Plus, host Brian Custer, Adam Shine, Ray Lucas, and Joe Klecko cover every angle with in-depth game analysis and opinion on Jets Postgame Live, presented by Toyota. Sunday immediately after the Jets game, only on SNY.
We welcome you to Geico Sports Night. Game on. Here is a huge shocker.
The Yankee fever is on.
This is the right move. We begin at Citi Field.
In Piscataway with the Giants at Yankee Stadium.
With the Jets.
We are joined in the studio right now by Tony Richardson. He's joined in studio now by Wayne Prevent.
Hall of Famer Jim Kelly.
That is the sports story in the Big Apple.
Always keep it locked right here on SN1.
Get your New York sports here.
Highlights from our game today. Pitt looking to stay undefeated in the Big East against Louisville. First drive for the Cardinals. Third, Nate, Adam Froman, Doug Beaumont, 18-yard gain led to a field goal to make it 3-0. Pitt looking to respond. Second and 10. Dion Lewis, we're used to seeing this.
And that's exactly what the Pitt had to get going, was get their running backs in positive yardage, going to pass the line of scrimmage.
Panthers moving the ball later in the drive. Tino Sinceri making moves with his legs. 13-yard run.
Hey, 13-yard run. Oh, he makes a guy miss. Way to keep a drive alive.
The first time Roman was yelling angrily at the Cardinals throughout the day. Second quarter, 1st and 10 at the Pitt 45 after a field goal made it 3-3. Sinceri to John Baldwin, 15-yard strike. First down, Pitt. Same drive, 2nd and 14 for the Panthers. Sinceri goes down the sideline for Baldwin. What a great catch this was, but it's ruled incomplete, but they take another look. In or out?
I think it was in. You know, it wasn't enough to take it away, the call on the field. So you have to give him credit. It was a great going up for the ball for Baldwin.
Pitt would settle for a field goal, made it 6-3. Third quarter, Pitt turns it on. Ray Graham, 13-3 lead right there. And on the ensuing drive for Louisville, Bilal Powell takes the ball and he's hitting the knee as he goes down. And really, the game was pretty much changed from there.
Yeah, it was really a clean shot, actually. Look at the right knee, how it was affected. He was really the driving force in what they've been able to do offensively the last few weeks. But that play, he was never the same again, and neither was the Louisville offense.
And after this play, certainly the case too. Froman sacked Miles Carrageen, recovers the fumble, takes the ball back to the 5-yard line. Panthers ball, as we already have broken down that play. That was a key play in this game, as 3 plays later, Dion Lewis punches it in.
Dion Lewis punches it again. An offense taking advantage of a turnover, taking advantage of a big play by the defense, and turning it into points.
And late in the fourth, Justin Burke in the game for the Cardinals. He is picked off by Dom Chico. That seals the game. Pitt wins it 20-3 as they continue to show themselves as the class of the conference right here at this point. Pitt, Charlie Strong, well, waving at Roman Oben right there, saying, oh, sorry, we'll get him next time for you. Roman yelling back, I wish you would have won today. Roman, 13-22, 82 yards. Bilal Powell kept under wraps, especially in the second half. Tino Sinceri, Dion Lewis doing the good job. Here's Pitt coach Dave Wannstedt after the game.
I think it was a situation where we were moving the ball. We just didn't score a couple times early. And the commitment was, hey, we just got to go out there and stay with what we're doing and not beat ourselves. And we got a steady group here. You know, it's not the highs and lows. It's we're young but very unique.
Well, we knew coming into the year we were have a lot of weapons on the field, and we just want to utilize them. And when we came into the season, we knew that we'd have plays on the perimeter that need to be made and plays in the backfield. And we just need to get a comfort level. I mean, we have a lot of young guys out there, and we're just growing each and every week and trying to learn from each week. And you can see it coming into play because the more experience that we're getting, the more comfortable we are, and the more we can get into people's hands.
All right, those guys with our Eamon McEnany down on the field at Heinz Field. It's time now for our report cards. And Don, let's start with Pitt. How are you grading them?
Well, I'm going to start with the offense. You look at Tino Sinceri, guy wasn't even perspiring there. It was kind of a bland day for this offense. I gave them a B-. Didn't think they did anything that special. Defense, I gave them an A. They did a great job of shutting down the number 4 runner and knocked him out of the ball game. Number 4 runner in the country for the defense. Special teams, again, a B. Nothing special, nothing big. Just like Coach Wantz said, this team was not that high, that low. They played a very consistent ball game. I gave them overall a B.
Yeah, and I'm going to go. I have to grade my team. I'm going to be a little rough.
Drama mater, yes, go ahead.
So Professor Oben with the offensively, I had to give them a D- offensively. 3 points. They never really got anything going early. You blow out UConn last week, 26-zip. A couple weeks back, Memphis 65-0. Nothing today. Nothing on the ground. Bilal Powell's injured. That really was the end of it for Louisville offensively. Defensively, I give them a B-. Although they let them kick a lot of field goals early, they really helped them stay in the game. They did well enough to play today. Not stellar, but a B- nonetheless. Special teams coverage units were good. Punting was good, but when the punting is good, that means you're getting a lot of 3-and-outs, a lot of big punts, bad from the coverage units. Overall, a C-. Not the day that Charlie Strong definitely wanted. Definitely not a good day for the program, but they'll be back next week.
Well, let me ask you this. I mean, you talk about the program, and we know it's been resurgent this year. Even I would never use the word rebuilding because I would not have.
Can't use that word.
Louisville would not like that word, yes. But they are resurgent. This was a measuring stick game for them. How do you see where they are right now?
Well, I think you look at last week. I mean, they won a game that they haven't won. You beat a UConn team last week, 26-zip. At 4-4, I mean, they've already won as many games they've won last year, and that's not anything to look at it in a great way. But it's positive where the program's going. Obviously, they don't want to talk about rebuilding. Charlie Strong's very adamant about that. They aren't rebuilding. They want to be where the Big East was, where they were in the Big East in 2006. But they're doing things they haven't done. They're leading the league in rushing, the Big East in rushing. They're making big plays. When the defense catches up, I think this will be a weapon for a football team in the Big East.
Yeah, no, if you're a fifth-year senior for Louisville, you're on your third head coach since your freshman year. There's a lot of change going on with this program. I know you don't say rebuilding, but it is a certain amount of retooling. And sometimes when you bring in a guy like Charlie Strong, you have to settle down, throw a lot of the things out that you did in the past, and start building anew. I know no one wants to say they're rebuilding, but that's really what you're doing.
No question about that. Now, Rutgers off this week, but they did get back on the practice field today. And, of course, while they are trying to get their focus back on the playing field, it's not easy. The Eric LeGrand situation, of course, LeGrand tragically injured, spinal injury, paralyzed from the neck down, still very much on the minds of all the players and especially the coach.
I think as time moves on, people will adjust emotionally better to the situation. And, hopefully it becomes where we can do more of, have a little more normalcy. But it'll never be normal.
We're just hoping for the best. We believe that Eric will get better. He will recover. He's a strong person inside and out. And it was a good showing. And, going to see him the other day, he has high spirits, and he's staying positive also.
It makes you appreciate, the things you have in life and the people around you. We have a great staff and support staff here. Our community is great, and, it definitely feels good. And, it feels like a lot of weight is lifted off your shoulders knowing that, you're not the only one feeling, the way you feel. And, there's a lot of people, there to talk to if you need them.
Anytime you're dealing with some form of a tragedy, there's the initial push just to get through it immediately. But then as time goes on, as I think we all know, it's very difficult to deal with. How does a football team continue on with this still going on, and they're still hurting for their fallen teammate at this point?
Whenever something like this happens with a team, for every individual player, it becomes a part of the narrative of their life. They're always going to tell that story about their teammate, Eric LeGrand, who many, many years from now, they're going to talk about how it impacted them individually. But right now, as a team, they get through it by leaning on each other as a team. This will make this team closer. No matter what happens with this season, this will be a unit of young men that will have this story that'll be a part of their lives forever.
Yeah, I mean, you look at what this team's have to go through over the last few weeks. I'm looking at a team. No team in college football deserved a bye week, more than Rutgers. They're still 4-3, 1-1. This gave them a chance to really get everything together and start to play good football in the second half. You look at what Syracuse is doing. You look what Pittsburgh is playing. Rutgers is going to stay. Shiano's going to get his team together and say, hey, what about us? They've been a second half team in the past. Tough special teams defensively. You're going to see a team that's more focused and more dedicated, and obviously playing for their teammate who's going through rehab right now.
How tough to be focused? South Florida on Wednesday. How tough for Greg Schiano to get that team focused and ready to go?
The focus is going to be tough no matter what. It's going to be difficult for them to focus, but they have a weekend off. They get to sit and look at the rest of the conference right now and realize that South Florida is a vulnerable football team. They look good against Cincinnati last week, but they're a vulnerable football team. It's a chance for Rutgers to get back on the field, get a good quality win in conference, and get themselves back on track.
Yeah, and I think you just have to focus. I mean, you're a Division I student athlete. Things are going to happen. This was a singular incident. It was unfortunate what happened, but going forward, I mean, they're going to continue to play football with their teammate in mind, and I think they're going to come out hungry Wednesday.
Once again, Greg Schiano has handled this situation, which is so tough, as well as anybody could, and I expect him to continue to handle it so well.
And we don't want people to forget, or we want people to remember to give to the fund.
The Believe Fund.
Exactly.
Absolutely. Just go to scarletknights.com and you can get all the information. Coming up, it's Halloween weekend, so Don and Roman, go trick-or-treating. You won't want to miss that. It's coming up when we come back.
Big candy.
Big candy, that's right.
Each year, smoking leaves 31,000 children fatherless.
Don't miss a moment. Quit smoking today. For help quitting, talk to your doctor or call 1-866-NY-QUITS.
This Motortober, bring home the sounds of the season to get you in the mood to motor, including classics like 31 Days of Ways to Save, skid marks and smokescreens, Kiss My Resale Value, and the timeless Make It Mine for $199. Celebrate this Motortober with a new 2011 Mini Cooper hardtop for $199 a month.
My parents have always lived in Queens, until 2 years ago when my dad transferred to Istanbul. They settled in quickly, found their local deli, a few shortcuts, and a neighborhood hangout. But there's one thing they miss: their beloved New York Mets. So I asked Citi how many thank you points it would take to give them something special. Their old seats, 5 and 6, row C.
Citi thank you points can be used for almost anything you choose. What's your story? Citi can help you write it.
It's the Jets on SNY. Every Tuesday at 5 p.m. Get your offensive insider info from Damian Woody as he joins the debate on Daily News Live. Then at 10 p.m., fullback Tony Richardson talks Jets football in studio on Geico Sports Night. Plus, every Thursday at 6 p.m., defensive tackle Chris Jenkins brings you his perspective on all things Gang Green on Loudmouths. Get your exclusive inside look at the New York Jets all week long, only on SNY.
Get your New York sports here.
Let's check out the Big East standings. Pittsburgh, the only undefeated team, and they remain undefeated today with their win. They're 3-0 on top of the conference. Syracuse, a half game behind, one in the loss column, 3-1. Rutgers 1-1. West Virginia all down the line. You can see what is going on there. Now, there are two indications that it's Halloween this week. One is that, I know it's October 31st, my mask. Two, Roman sent many emails telling us we had to wear orange yesterday, which we've all done. So being that it is obviously trick or treat, we wanted to talk about the tricks and treats of the conference. Let us start with treats, being that I've never actually seen anybody do a trick. Let's start with treats.
Come by my house.
I haven't seen any kids. I just give them the candy. Let's start with treats in the Big East. What do you start with?
Well, the treat in the Big East has to be Syracuse. There's no question about it. I'm not just being a homer here. You have to be impressed with what this team has done. Today, against the #1 offense in the conference, Cincinnati has been averaging 446 yards a game. This defense shut them down to just 277 yards of total offense. Scott Schaefer has done an outstanding job defensively, and Doug Marrone overall with this Syracuse program has these young men believing, and right now there is a good football team in Syracuse, New York.
Yeah, and I'm going to go, my treats are going to go to the running backs of the Big East. We've got 4 running backs who are in the top 40 in college football in the Big East. You got Bilal Powell. It's been a pleasant surprise offensively for Louisville this year. Jordan Tillman, consistent mainstay at UConn's running game. You have Noel Devine. Obviously, West Virginia, you've got DeLon Carter, who's really the unsung hero of that Pittsburgh team offensively. And obviously, again, I'm going to go back to Noel Devine, what he's done for that offense as well. I haven't even talked about Deion Lewis. I mean, my treats are the running backs for the Big East, and they're going to get my favorite, Don's favorite, the candy corn tonight for Halloween.
It's a good treat, the candy corn. Now, obviously,
I like Kit Kats.
I'm a Reese's peanut butter cup guy myself. I hear you. All right, let's talk about the tricks. Not everything has gone right in the Big East, certainly, so there are tricks. What would your trick be?
Well, there are lots of tricks because this has been a fairly disappointing year for the Big East, but the biggest trick for me is Cincinnati. This is a team that's represented the conference in the Big East for the last 2 years in the BCS. The other thing about Cincinnati is when they joined the conference, everyone thought, oh, Cincinnati, are they up to the standard of the Big East? Well, they actually raised the standard of the Big East. This year, they've lowered it. They have not been the team that they've been in the past few years that has represented the Big East in the BCS. They're a big disappointment thus far in the season. Still plenty of time for them to pull it together, but right now, this is the trick of the Big East.
And guys, I don't know what you guys are going for Halloween tonight, but I know the West Virginia Mountaineers have been disguised as a bad football team the last 2 weeks, so that's how they're getting ready for Halloween. You look at the fumbles last night, 7 forced fumbles, capped by running into an offensive lineman's hip pad in the backfield, really costing the game. Geno Smith, we've been very high on him. You have the one loss to LSU, and then that, thought that maybe one loss, they went out in the Big East, but the way they played the last 2 weeks, not being good, not good football, uncharacteristic of what we've seen out of Bill Stewart's football program the last few years.
So what you're suggesting is my costume of 80s hair metal band guy is better than a Mountaineer? Is that what you're suggesting?
Yeah, I think the trees get the candy corn. They get imitation crab meat.
I understand.
You're going 80. What are you going as tomorrow? Nothing?
No, just
Big Roman?
I'll go president. I'll go president.
I'm going to go as Bill Cosby. I'm going to have a cigar. I'm going to do a lot of positions.
When you start doing imitations, it's time for me to rein in the group.
Pull it back.
Well, let me ask you this question. What do we take out of today? Pittsburgh, are they clearly the class of the conference?
No question about it. Pittsburgh continues to roll. Even, the thing for Pittsburgh right now is that their early season losses hurts them, as you talk about the BCS, hurts the conference. But right now, they are clearly the class of the conference.
Yeah, and I'm going to look at your alma mater, Syracuse, how they played the last 2 weeks, last 3 weeks. They're really playing with a vigor, a confidence. Defensively, Scott Schaefer's done an excellent job getting those guys to swarm. Doug Hogue, all those guys, always 8, 9 guys around the football. I love what they're doing defensively. Offensively, obviously, DeLon Carter, he's doing well on the ground. They're really playing team football, special teams as well. It's really good to see that Doug Marrone, saying this isn't rebuilding. It's not going to take us 5 years to win, but he's really done it in 2 seasons. I tip my hat off to your alma mater.
Nobody likes to say rebuilding. I think it's a harmless term. By the way, next week, Louisville and Syracuse. Keep these two separated. My goodness, there's going to have to be a wager. We'll talk about it.
I think I might have to go back to the ties again. I might have to buy you another orange tie. I know your wardrobe is limited on orange.
I've got a pink female Louisville jersey you're going to wear. One of those Tony Romo.
That's all right, man. This is the year of pink. I'm cool with that. I'm down with that.
Before Don does a Richard Pryor imitation, let's wrap this show up. We appreciate it again. Pitt, the 23 win over Louisville. Everybody have a very happy and safe Halloween. We will see you next week.